Jets Nation, welcome back to another Jets Media Live stream. Today is a great day to be a freaking New York Jets fan. He fires over the middle, touchdown! Garrett Wilson! The New York Jets by the football team! It's a toss to Breece Hall. Breece Hall cuts up the middle. Breece Hall's loose. Breece Hall's gone. Breece Hall is gone. He walks into the end zone. That's a Jets touchdown. Some sort of game winner. That's the New York Jets' new era Robert style of football right there. Breaking news: the New York Jets got him. Aaron Rodgers is officially a member of the New York Jets. The vibe amongst this fan base is just a really awesome thing to watch our fans have a reason to be excited. This Jets team is ready to take flight this year.
Go show the world today what Jets football is about. Let's go. All we need is us. All we need.
I got high expectations for them, and you should too.
I really do appreciate each and every one of you guys. Let's go Jets. Jets.
Let's go! Yo, Jets Nation! We are back with a brand new episode of the Jets Media Podcast. First episode, we're here, baby. Let's freaking go. Jack, how excited are you right now?
I couldn't be more excited to be starting up this podcast with you, my friend. Here we are in this beautiful space with this beautiful equipment, with beautiful people already tuning in, talking about a beautiful football team, man. I couldn't be more excited and happy to get this thing rolling as the season is, well, the Jets season is officially 1 week away.
Less
than a
go,
week
man.
Until the rest of the football games are being played. Couldn't be more hyped, man. How's everybody doing on this beautiful Labor Day? I hope you guys are enjoying a day off. Richie and I are in the studio, getting ready to go for a long time today, man. Welcome to the podcast. Richie, what can people expect?
Yeah, man. So this is a launch of a brand new show, a brand new podcast, the first official podcast of Jets Media. So if you're listening to this in the audio format on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, welcome in. But I know most of you guys right now are watching this live on YouTube, and we're going to be live every single Monday, 10 a.m. to 1 p.m., every single week, recapping what's going on with these New York Jets, talking about everything around the NFL, special guests lined up every single episode, fun segments. There's going to be so much different things happening on this channel, especially in the show, that I'm so happy to have Jack as my partner here for the official Jets Media Podcast. So folks, if you're just tuning in, please do me a gigantic favor. Please hit that like button on your way in. We are just getting started. Just getting started right now for the first episode of the Jets Media Podcast. We got awesome things on the horizon. And the most important thing that I want to talk about, Jack, is we're 1 week away from Jets football. 1 week.
It's kind of unbelievable, man. I mean, this whole offseason has been almost like a fever dream. You know, I'm trying to wake myself up every day, trying to pinch myself. Maybe it'll finally feel real a week from today when we're at MetLife Stadium and we see Aaron Rodgers trot out there in that Jets uniform.
Woo.
But as of right now, man, it just still feels absolutely unreal. I don't know what to say or what to believe or what to think. It's just, you know, every time I see a picture of Aaron Rodgers as a Jet, it really blows my mind. It really does.
It really does. And I feel like it's finally going to sink in next week when Aaron Rodgers walks out of the tunnel at MetLife Stadium and we get to see him in action for the first time, that JETS Jets chant is going to be ridiculous. It's going to be the loudest I've ever witnessed live. Jack and I will be in attendance. If you guys are going to the game, let us know in the comment section right now. And I feel like this fan base, man, Aaron Rodgers got here in April, and we've had months and months and months of anticipation, starting with OTAs and now training camp, preseason, dime to Garrett Wilson, and now we can finally see him try it out on the football field against the team that the Jets are trying to dethrone and win the damn division in the Buffalo Bills. Oh my gosh. Week 1, man, I get jitters right now thinking about it.
I mean, and it's nice, it's nice getting the challenge of a great team like the Buffalo Bills, week 1 this early into the season, especially on the, primetime Monday Night Football stage. This is about as good of a test as we can ask for this team, right? I mean, let's rip this Band-Aid off. Let's see how good we really are. I'm happy that we're not starting the season against, Atlanta or Houston, which we have later on the schedule, but starting against the Buffalo Bills, who as of, right now are still the best team in the AFC East, and the division runs through them. And, we have a challenge ahead of us, man. It's not going to be a walk in the park, but like you said, man, the feeling and the sound, the vibration when Aaron Rodgers trots out onto that field, when the whole team comes out. But I mean, we're witnessing, Aaron Rodgers, New York Jets regular season debut. Obviously, he had his, his preseason thing going on, which was beautiful, by the way, beautifully executed. We'll get into that as the show progresses here. But yeah, I mean, to see, Aaron Rodgers, who's, in terms of resume, probably the best player in the history of the franchise.
And I think that you can't even debate. I think that any player on these New York Jets, we've never had a resume like Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers is the best New York Jet in history, and he hasn't took a snap yet. And that's a little discredit to what the Jets have been doing, but let's just focus on the now, because when he trots out to the field, this is what we're going to hear loud and proud.
Oh, yeah, baby.
Oh, my God. Let me hear that again.
I love it. I love it. I love it. And what feels so different about this, Rich? I mean, let's throw it back, over a decade ago to the Brett Favre era, or the Brett Favre year. Brett Favre didn't arrive until August. Here's Aaron Rodgers, showing up for OTAs. So the build-up will just be that much different. And I think, like you said, I mean, I think, if there was a roof on MetLife Stadium, which there's not, if there was a roof on that place, it would be coming right off, man, because I just, Jets fans have never really experienced anything like this, man. Nothing like it, and with the roster around Aaron Rodgers, it's not just like, oh, we got a great quarterback, let's hope that he can, make some magic happen for us. The roster around him is in the best place that maybe it's ever been. At least since, Rex Ryan, probably before that. I think this is maybe the most well-rounded roster that the Jets have ever had as a franchise in their, 60-year history. So it's just unprecedented, man. The feeling that we have every day as Jets fans, and the fact that we can taste it, we can smell it. It is right around the corner, man. 1 week away. Just unbelievable.
I know. The fact that 1 week from today is game day, and I'm going to be on the way to MetLife Stadium, setting up for the AFC East Roundtable event, getting ready for the Buffalo Bills versus the New York Jets outing. I mean, this roster's stacked on every single count, and I think that Jets fans need to realize that this is the best Jets roster we've ever seen on paper, at least in my lifetime. I mean, you look at this roster, there's not a weakness.
No.
There's not a weakness. You can argue like some positions are better than others, obviously.
Of course.
But without without injuries to the offensive line, for example, I like that offensive line.
Oh, 100%.
I mean,
dude.
people are saying this offensive line is like a giant weakness. It's the biggest, it's going to be the detriment of this team. You give me a healthy 38-year-old multi-time Pro Bowl Dwayne Brown at left tackle with a former Pro Bowler Laika Tomlinson and a seasoned vet in McGovern, and a young stud in AVT with the biggest wild card, who we all know, if he's healthy, is one of the better tackles in the NFL, and Mekhi Becton. We're talking about a solid offensive line here, folks. We're not talking about a damn wishy-washy, like, oh, this offensive line is going to be trash. Like, this is an offensive line that can really take this Jets team to another level if they stay healthy. And you look around the offense, we got the best running back duo in the NFL with Dalvin Cook and Breece Hall. Not to mention, we got Michael Carter and Izzy, who are like very solid 3 and number 4 backs. And the wide receiver room is going to be really interesting. We got Garrett Wilson, who I think is poised to be a freaking animal. Guys, I literally drafted him 5th overall in my fantasy league last night, because I'm that high on him. Yes, I know it was a reach, but hopefully...
Hey, it wasn't a reach. It won't be a reach by week 3.
By week 3, people will be like, damn, Richie, you knew. And yeah, I freaking knew. But outside of the Garrett Wilson in the receiver room, we got Al Lazard as that number 2. We got Randall Cobb, Hardman, and then the undrafted free agents behind them for that 5 and 6 spot with Brownlee and Gibson, and then Irv Charles, who's more that special teams guy. So I really think on paper the offense is ready to go. But when you want to talk about a stacked defense, bro, this defense is about to go crazy. And I want to get your guys' thoughts right now in the chat. We've been hearing a lot from Quinnen Williams and the Jets defense overall on Hard Knocks and One Jets Drive. Can the Jets defense be the number 1 defense in the league this year? Do you guys think that is possible? Because I definitely think it can. You saw last year they were top 5. This year they're going to go up against way better opponents, better quarterbacks. It's not going to be easy, but you talk about year 3 in the system with Robert Saleh. You talk about Quinnen Williams, who was one of the best players at his position. You talk about Sauce Gardner, who is the best corner in the NFL, coming off a sensational rookie season with DJ Reed. This defensive line, we all know, is 10 freaking deep. Don't forget about the linebackers in C.J. Mosley, second-team All-Pro, Quincy Williams, who I think is one of the more underrated players on this Jets defense. And we have a very promising young player entering year 2, first-year starter in Tony Adams at free safety, and Jordan Whitehead was getting praise from Robert Saleh. I mean, this defense can really turn heads. So I want to get your guys' thoughts in the chat right now. Let us know, can the Jets defense be the best in the NFL? Jack, do you think that's possible?
I think it's certainly possible, man. You look at what this defense was able to do last year, absolutely suffocating. And, while there are a couple pieces that are not returning, the vast majority of players are. I think an X factor to this defense could be Jamien Sherwood. Quan Alexander played fantastic for us last year. We obviously could not retain him this offseason. So Jamien Sherwood, the third-year man, will be taking up that starting role, I'm excited to see what he can do. I think that's probably the area of biggest concern for me is the linebackers outside of CJ. I mean, I love Quincy Williams. I think he's a great guy, fun personality, and a very good player. But I think there's room for growth in his game, 100%. I'm very excited about Tony Adams. Tony Adams has really been making a name for himself. And if you guys haven't heard Tony Adams, I'm sure there are a couple out there, but I heard this one particular interview recently with Tony Adams talking to some members of the media. And he is just, he was saying all the right things, man. He's a humble guy. He's ready to go. When asked, how do you think you earned this starting role? He said, I don't think I'm out there doing anything special. I'm just taking the advice of my coaches and implementing that into what I do every day. And, that's what more can you ask for from a young player like that? He seems to, be confident, but also, not cocky. He's confident, but he's humble. And I think he's getting ready to turn some heads this year. And then obviously, Sauce Gardner is on his way, if not already. I'll just say it right now. Sauce Gardner is the best cornerback in the league. Come at me, if you will. But Sauce is absolutely about to lock it down. As Richie has said in years past, though, and I think this should be said, Sauce was so freakishly good in his rookie season that, don't be crazy upset or surprised if there is a slight drop-off in Sauce's play this year, just because of how freakishly good he was last year. As a rookie, he led the league in pass deflections, didn't allow a single touchdown, And, the tape speaks for itself, man. I mean, go back to that Packer game. He is just absolutely astounding. He's an incredible talent. DJ Reed is right there with him, man. DJ Reed is a shutdown guy. Very, very slept on because obviously Sauce has the personality and the name and, all the play to back it up. But yeah, this secondary is about to be for real, man. And then obviously to finish things off, the defensive line, I think, is just going to be the scariest unit in all of football, man. I mean, we have, 9 or 10 guys that can do damage. And obviously they'll be rotated in and out. There is not a situation, there's not an offensive situation for the opposing team where we don't have the right 4 or 5 guys to beat you. Whether it's 3rd and 20, 3rd and 2, 1st and 10, 2nd and short, and the whole playbook is wide open, we have a group of guys that can go out there and beat you. And I think they're going to be the best. I think, the Jets defense can be the best in the NFL. I think the Jets defensive line is almost a lock to be the best in the NFL.
Yeah,
call me crazy, call it a hot take.
That's not a hot take.
You still got the 49ers and other great units in there.
That is not a hot take.
I think the Jets defensive line can be the best in football.
The Jets defensive line will be the best in football, which is why the Jets defense has a chance to be the best in football. And what Robert Saleh has been saying over and over and over again, we go as you go, talking to the defensive line. The defensive line is it.
What happened the last time Aaron Rodgers had a defense as good as this current Jets defense?
Oh, I don't know. Maybe won a Super Bowl. Dare I say that? Hold on one second. That deserves a Jets chant right there. Guys, if you're just tuning in to the podcast for the first time, do us a gigantic favor. Simply hit that thumbs up button. We are so excited to launch the first episode of the official Jets Media podcast here on YouTube and wherever you're listening to in audio format. We do have a special guest joining us later in the show. That will be the great Jake Asman. So make sure you guys stay tuned. We're going to have special guests. We're going to have fun segments lined up. We're going to take call-ins as well at the back end of it. And guys, it's going to be a long show every Monday for 3 freaking hours, 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern time. So kick up, relax, enjoy the show. And we're just getting started, baby. So please, if you're not already, simply hit that thumbs up button, guys. Really, really helps out the channel a ton. We greatly, greatly appreciate it. So let's get deeper into this defense because I think that's definitely something that deserves some love.
The entire, obviously for good reason, this entire offseason has been, all about Aaron Rodgers and the offense, obviously, as it should be. But, I like the fact that, nobody's, sleeping on our defense, obviously. Everybody knows we have a great defense, but I like the fact that they're kind of, this like under-the-radar unit now because, it's all about Aaron Rodgers and it's all about Garrett Wilson and it's all about, can Nathaniel Hackett bring this offense back to, Aaron Rodgers MVP glory seasons. But this defense, it could be even better than the offense. The whole story last year was if the Jets just get average quarterback play, we can win every game because this defense is so good and so suffocating that if we score 17, 20 points a game, there's a high chance that we will come out on top.
Yeah, and I think that you brought up such a great point that the hype around this Jets football team isn't just because we landed Aaron Rodgers. It's not like Aaron Rodgers is this guy that's going to lead this Jets football team to the promised land by himself, right? It's because of how good the defense is. It's because of how good the team around Aaron Rodgers is. And I think that's the biggest misconception around the NFL is why are the Jets getting so much hype? It's not like Aaron Rodgers is just going to single-handedly carry them. No, we're not relying on him to do that. Obviously, the addition of Aaron Rodgers is going to be the reason why we are going to take that next step. But the defense is what some people need to realize is the heart and soul of this team. And I don't think people are sleeping on the defense. I think it's a pretty well-known thing, and especially on Hard Knocks for people that are watching it, see the elite traits of this defensive line, how deep we really go with the domination of Quinnen Williams at the joint practice against the Panthers, the little feature of Will McDonald, Jermaine Johnson. I mean, we can go in detail about how talented this defensive line is and how this overall defense is. And I made a tweet yesterday saying one of the most underrated players on the Jets defense, in my opinion, is linebacker Quincy Williams, because I think that him going into year 3 with the system with Robert Saleh, I think that he has so much upside in this defense, and he's such a player that sets the tone, that kind of just like pops a player in the mouth. You see Saleh freaking flexing on him on the sidelines. And I think that things are starting to slow down for Quincy. And obviously he's not a finished product, but I think we might see the finished product this season. You know, the first season with Quincy was all over the place. Year 2, he was looking pretty good, definitely making some strides. And by the way, Quincy Williams, 106 tackles last year, 110 tackles his first year with the Jets. I mean, what are we talking about here? Obviously, he over-pursues sometimes. He's not the greatest in coverage, but as an off-ball linebacker, I think Quincy Williams is a player that not a lot of people are talking about, who I think is really going to take a stride. We heard him speak to the media this year, and he had something really interesting to say that I really liked, whereas he doesn't need to rely on C.J. Mosley anymore to make the calls, right? His first 2 years, he was relying on the captain, relying on C.J. to line everybody up and listen to C.J. Okay, where do I need to be? Now he's like, now in year 3, I don't need to rely on C.J. I understand it. I understand it myself. I can see the offense and understand what's coming. I know where my reads are. I know where I need to be. And that tells you he is evolving, and that is the biggest trait of having a defense with continuity. The year 3 in the system, that's where things really start to click. That's why Quincy Williams going into year 3, and you can argue the same thing with everybody around him. Sauce Gardner, DJ Reed, Michael Carter II going into year 2 together, right? All having those same things. And that's why this Jets defense is going to be ahead of the offense for the simple reason of being in year 3 together, whereas the offense is more laid back and in their first year together. But I think the offense, where things need to get on the same page, it's not going to be the system, it's not going to be the play calling, it's going to be Aaron Rodgers and his hand signals and his on-field, on-the-fly adjustments. Can he get on the same page with the receivers? Can he get on the same page with the running backs and tight ends? Because that is what's going to make or break this offense, is if Garrett Wilson, Allen Lazard, all the boys, all the weapons can understand when Rodgers is going up to the line of scrimmage and before he hikes the ball and he's making his pre-snap reads, he sees something and he makes a little adjustment, they know what Rodgers is saying. Because if there's going to be miscommunications here and there, that's inevitable. But for the most part, I think that's what's going to make or break this offense in terms of the weapons around Aaron Rodgers. Can they see the game through Rodgers' eyes? Because that's what Rodgers have been trying to do since he got here. And it's not going to be immediate, but I think it's going to happen as the season progresses.
Oh, without a doubt. And, just touching on Quincy real quick before we get back into the offense. Quincy just brings gas, man. All gas, no break. Quincy brings that gas. He flies around the field. He's got a nose for the ball. Like you said, not the best coverage linebacker, but everybody has their strengths and their weaknesses. Quincy's strength is finding whoever's got the football in their hand and absolutely laying the wood. And if I could pick something out of his game to improve, he hits people so freaking hard that he doesn't even realize the ball is on the ground 5 yards away from him. We saw that a couple times last season, where he potentially could have gotten the turnover as well as, the huge hit. But, you can't really complain about that, especially for, not necessarily a polished product, at least coming into his professional career. Obviously, he was a waiver guy, but, got a contract, is playing with his brother who got a contract. Who's more happy on this team than Quincy Williams right now?
He got extended, baby.
He probably had no idea that his career would turn out the way it did, based on how it started. So good for him. But getting back into what you just mentioned about Aaron Rodgers and the offense and getting on the same page and all that stuff, how good is it to have two guys, not even just for their experience with Rodgers, but for their play on the field as well? I mean, how lucky are we to have Allen Lazard and Randall Cobb?
The translators. Well, Randall Cobb is the translator, Lazard as well, but Cobb is that guy. And the people that were clowning the Jets, why are they getting Randall Cobb? He's washed up. It's such more than his impact on the field, which, by the way, I think he's going to be a pretty darn good football player this season. Before we get deeper into it, I do want to give a shout out. Jimmy Casket just comes in with the $2 super chat. We got to give a JETS for Jimmy. Thank you, Jimmy, for the $2. He says how to call in on the podcast. So when we open this up for the call-in show, it's going to be in the third hour, which is going to be around 12 o'clock. And we're going to drop a link in the chat, and you will be able to join the call-in show then. So stay tuned, guys, for the call-in show. It will be open. You guys will be able to come on, talk to Jack and myself after Jake Asman joins the show. So don't worry, Jimmy. We're going to drop a link, and you guys are going to come on here and join the party with Jack and myself. We got another super chat, another big one. Poppy with the $10. Kind of fit. Poppy says, we have the Hard Knocks curse. Bills have the Madden curse. And the Dolphins have had Chad Pennington curse when a quarterback suffering major injuries, which cures will be broken. What do you think about that one, Jack?
Which curse will be broken? Listen, I don't know, man. Obviously I'm going to go with I didn't even know this was the thing, but I guess I'm going to go with the Hard Knocks curse because the Jets are about to go off this year and turn some heads and win the AFC East and maybe win the conference and get that first-round bye in a home playoff game at MetLife Stadium. What the hell did I just say? But
you said it. That's what you said.
That's what I said, man. I didn't stutter. Yeah, I'll go with the Jets on that one. But true, man. I guess we got some curses within the division right now. The Pennington curse was real, man. And obviously the Madden curse has reared its ugly head many, many times in the past. Yeah. So I'm gonna go with the Jets on that one. But Pappy, appreciate that $10 donation, guys. And yeah, keep them coming. If you guys want, to get your question up on there, make sure to send in that super chat. Wait for the call-in show later. Don't forget, guys, we got Jake Asman joining the show at some point during the second hour. We got a lot of content coming your way this morning, and we are so happy that you guys are here with us on this beautiful Labor Day. I hope you guys are enjoying your day off. Richie and I are here doing our thing. Couldn't be happier about it. Hope you guys are enjoying the show so far, as we are just about 1/2 hour in to the first episode of the Jets Media Podcast. Make sure you guys hit that like button. Appreciate all of you guys.
Let's freaking go, baby. Poppy, again, thank you so much for the super chat. A round of applause for my man.
Love it.
So the next topic I did want to mention with you guys, because we are heading in to a big-time season for these New York Jets. Now, I teased it a little bit, but Jack and I had our fantasy football draft last night, and your boy had the 5th overall pick. And I freaking drafted, you know who? Garrett Wilson with my 5th overall pick. Now, my people... Some people are clowning me. I tweeted it out, and I'm getting roasted by the NFL world. Good. Now, I want to ask you guys in the chat, will Garrett Wilson be a top 5 wide receiver in the NFL this year? I think it's possible. I think if you look at it, the New York Jets are doing exactly what the Green Bay Packers did with Aaron Rodgers and Davante Adams. Aaron Rodgers is going to treat Garrett Wilson like his version of Adams. And what that basically means is volume. Targets on the same page, nonverbal communication, and we freaking saw it before our very eyes in the damn preseason. 9 Aaron Rodgers attempts, 4 of them went to Garrett Wilson. 1 of them was a pass interference call, and we saw that touchdown. That touchdown was just like, oh, you're showing all-out blitz. Oh, it's press man coverage. Oh, this is going to be a run to the right. Let's change that up. You're pressing. Let's change it to a fade. And if you remember the first play, it was supposed to be a run, but the corner was sagging off of Garrett Wilson. It was giving him a lot of space. So what did Aaron Rodgers do? He gave him a little signal. It was a little quick screen pass to pick up the first down. So those are the little things that Jets fans are going to start to fall in love with Aaron Rodgers, is those adjustments. And that's a small little example, right? The first play of the game, I'm just going to say it over again. The Giants defense was showing all-out blitz, zero look, man coverage across the board, and the DB that was manned up on Garrett Wilson was playing way off. He had 7 yards of separation at the line of scrimmage. So Aaron Rodgers saw that. So he gave him a little adjustment. They changed the play at the line, and it was a quick ball right to Garrett Wilson, getting him the ball at the line of scrimmage. Garrett Wilson picks up the first down. And then you fast forward to the second drive when they're in the red zone. Now, it's the same look. The Giants are stacking the box, and it's a man coverage on Garrett Wilson. But this time, instead of the DB playing off of Garrett, the DB's pressed up at the line of scrimmage. So what does Rodgers do? He gives him the fade signal. Rodgers flicks that thing immediately when the ball snapped, right, he kind of hesitates a little bit to give Garrett a little time to win at the line of scrimmage, puts that ball on a freaking dime, and it is a touchdown for the New York Jets. So that is a little example of what we saw in the preseason to what to expect from these New York Jets in terms of Aaron Rodgers' adjustments on the field. That is what makes Aaron Rodgers so freaking great. Now, Jack, I want to hear your thoughts about that, but before we do have another super chat from Jetted Out.
Appreciate you, man. Little round of applause as well.
Thank you, Jetted Out. We appreciate that.
Love it.
Richie, finally got my authentic Rodgers sack exchange jersey. Was a pretty penny, but I love it. That's fire, dude. Can you send a picture? Is it your profile picture of Rodgers? That is fire, dude. That looks sick. I still don't have a legacy jersey. I'm waiting. I wanted to get a Quinn Williams one, and my jersey's still not here, so I got to figure that out.
I was dying to get a legacy jersey at training camp in the team store, but they did not have my size, and I just, I don't know, man. Those legacy jerseys are absolutely beautiful, though. I love how simple they are and just clean, and it kind of just looks like it was like meant for Aaron Rodgers to play in. It's kind of like an old-looking uniform. He's an older dude, He's, I don't know. I can't wait to see those things debut a week from today. But we appreciate your chat, man.
With these helmets.
With those helmets, too. Look at that. Look at that, man. That's a beautiful helmet. I love that.
These are our two alternate helmets. Want to hold this one up?
Absolutely.
We got two alternate helmets this year. We got this one we'll be wearing week 1 and week 4. And then the one that Jack's holding up is the one we'll be wearing against the Miami Dolphins for Black Friday. Woo.
Look at that.
So freaking nice. But yeah, let's get back into what I wanted to talk about. Now,
Garrett Wilson will be a top 5 receiver.
Now, why?
I mean, let me just say that to start. Because he is one of the most talented players at the position in the league. I mean, I think, what he was able to do in his rookie season with 4 different, bad quarterbacks throwing him the ball, to put together a rookie of the year campaign with no quarterback as a wide receiver. I mean, the talent has got to be next level. So the talent is not a question. And especially now the fact that Aaron Rodgers is in town and, we all could have predicted this anyway, guys. But the preseason game just confirms it more and more so. I mean, Garrett Wilson is Aaron Rodgers' number 1 target. Every time Rodgers drops back to pass, the first guy he's looking at is going to be 17, Garrett Wilson. We know he loves his wide receivers with the number 17, and I think Garrett Wilson has the potential to be the new look Davante Adams. And then in week 8, when we get the actual Davante Adams, but Garrett Wilson, guys, obviously, all the potential in the world to have a crazy, crazy year. I think he could certainly be top 5. Now, it will be challenging. He's not just going to walk into that top 5. He's going to have a monster year simply because of how many talented young wide receivers there are in the league right now. I mean, we're still dealing with, Jamar Chase. We're still dealing with Justin Jefferson. We're dealing with Tyreek Hill. We're dealing with A.J. Brown, who had a monster year last year, So there's, a lot of, Cooper Kupp is an unbelievable player. The list goes on and on. So it's not going to be a walk in the park for Garrett Wilson to get into that top 5. He's going to have to go off and do his thing for sure. And that means Aaron Rodgers is going to be having to put the ball in the right spot. But yeah, I mean, the talent is not even a question. The chemistry between him and Rodgers looks great already. Richie talking about that, the nonverbal cues on not only the first play, but that touchdown as well. Yeah, I mean, I think it's all laid out in front of us pretty clearly, man. I mean, the potential is certainly there for Garrett Wilson to be a top 5 wide receiver. I think he will be. But it is going to be tough. I'm not just, going to go in with my Jets blinders on and say he's the best receiver in the league. Nobody's going to even come close. No. We still got plenty of amazing quarterback and receiver combinations out there that are going to be doing some damage for sure. But Garrett Wilson and Aaron Rodgers will be in that top 5 group. You watch.
Yes, sir. And we got a super chat from Poppy. Another one. Thank you, Poppy. He says, I got 2 quarterbacks in fantasy, Lamar and Aaron Rodgers. Who should I start?
Ooh.
I also got Breece Hall. Is he going to be big? I couldn't get Jets defense. What do you think about that, Jack?
So Pappy's got 2 quarterbacks, 2 pretty freaking good quarterbacks, if I do say so myself, in Lamar Jackson and Aaron Rodgers. You got Breece Hall, stud. And you couldn't get your hands on the Jets D, which is, that's a bummer, but it's not the end of the world. Although the Jets D will be the best fantasy defense this year. But I'm kind of in the same boat, man. I also had a fantasy draft yesterday. And you know who my quarterback ended up being? Mr. Aaron Rodgers,
Jack
baby.
stole him from me. I wanted to get that Garrett to Rodgers stack.
Yeah, but I got a bone to pick with you, dude, because you told me going into this draft, you're like, nah, I got Garrett and Aaron Rodgers in other leagues already. I got all my Jets already. You can take this one, dude. This is your only league this year. You can take the Jets. And who does this guy take at 5 overall? Garrett Wilson. So I'm like, all right, Richie's playing a little dirty. Aaron Rodgers is mine. In that moment, I decided Rodgers is mine.
And then guess who snagged the Jets defense way earlier than I should?
Your
boy.
way early.
And then who was the final pick of the draft for me? Greg the Leg.
Greg the Leg, baby.
I'm all in. Maybe. Listen, I've never been successful in fantasy because I draft too many Jets. So this is the year to draft Jets.
This
and
is
it's
the year
gonna
where
work.
that changes for you, my friend.
It's going to work. We got another super chat to get to. We got Anthony. Let's go, Ant. Thank you, Anthony. We appreciate the big-time super chat. You guys really the best. Little something to say. Thank you for all the great content. Good luck with the new show. Well, Anthony, we really do appreciate that, man.
Thank you so much, man.
That means a lot. Jack and I are really excited. We've had this vision for years in terms of being in a studio, having our own mics, having headsets, and making it feel like an actual setup, and more of like a podcast or like a radio live show. And we've always envisioned it. And at the time when we first thought of it, we didn't know how the hell it would come together. But hey, it came together. And the reason why it came together is because of all the support, all the super chats, all the donations, all the like buttons being hit, all the subscribers, all the watches. I mean, all the love on social media that you guys are pouring into Jets media. None of this is possible. I mean, the studio that I have isn't happening without your guys' support. You know, it's always been a big dream of mine to be able to do this full time and build this from the ground up. And we are here today on the way for the biggest Jets football season of our freaking lives. So, Anthony, thank you so much for the generous words and the kind donation, my man.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Anthony. You guys are amazing. And nobody works harder than my buddy Richie right here. So shout out to you, my friend. This is awesome. This is a great feeling. Being in this room, decked out with Jets stuff. I mean, it's great, man. It's a cool feeling. We're gonna be getting expect to see some in-person special guests as well. I'm not gonna give away too many details yet, but you guys are about to be spoiled this season, man. Get ready for some amazing live shows from this location right here.
Let's freaking go. A lot of fun stuff coming on, boys and girls. But guys, we are 2 likes away from 100 likes. If you guys can do us a gigantic favor, simply hit that thumbs up button right now if you're enjoying the show. And if you're watching this live or listening to this rather on podcast form, it would mean a lot if you guys can rate us, because this is going to be also on audio format. So if you guys happen to miss a live show in the future and you want to listen to us in your car, it's going to be available on Apple Podcasts. It's going to be available on Spotify. It's going to be available all over the place. And we don't have the link to that yet, because this is going to be the first episode that'll be uploaded. So make sure you guys follow us over on social media so you guys can get an update of when it'll be uploaded, and you guys can show us some love over there. If you do, please. We appreciate that. Hemlock with a super chat, $5.
Jets. And a little round of applause.
Thank you, Hemlock. We appreciate it big time. He says, I'll be happy with 25 passes per game and riding the run game all year. Big stats are fun, but running over teams is great. Congrats on the pod. Well, thank you very much, Hemlock. I do appreciate that. And don't forget, Hemlock, you are on to something. How did these New York Jets beat the Buffalo Bills last year at MetLife Stadium? Running the football. Do you guys remember the drive? I don't remember what quarter it was in. It was definitely the second half, maybe the fourth quarter, actually. The Jets had the ball on our own 6-yard line. And the Jets ran the football down the throats of the Buffalo Bills. Zach Wilson did not have one pass attempt, and they ran down their throats with, at the time, James Robinson and Michael Carter, and they scored a touchdown, and they ate the clock. And that is the philosophy of Robert Saleh. That is why he was brought here. That's what they feel like is their philosophy, is being a grounded pound football team, because that sets up the play action for Aaron Rodgers. So you're on to something there, Hemlock. I couldn't agree more. That is the number one priority for this football team, is run the damn football.
I think, I couldn't agree more as well. I think that, obviously we've never had a quarterback as good as Aaron Rodgers, but so it's a different ball game now. But, if you just look at the history of our franchise and the limited success that the Jets have had throughout the years, a lot of it has come from, a badass defense and a badass, run it down your throat running game. And that's going to be huge this year, because we're going to need to establish the run, force teams to respect the run, force teams to stack the box. And then, you know what that means? That means that Garrett Wilson is going to be one-on-one on the outside against some poor little cornerback, and Aaron Rodgers is going to expose that 10 times out of 10. So it all starts with the running game, man. It really does. That leads into the play action, opens up the playbook, leaves our wide receivers one-on-one, and Aaron Rodgers is going to drop it in the breadbasket. So absolutely fantastic point. Regardless of Rodgers being our quarterback or not, obviously we want to see some, bombs to whoever, to Garrett Wilson, to whoever. But it does start with the big boys up front and the run game, absolutely, because that just opens up the entire playbook, forces defenses to respect the run game and stack the box and leave our wide receivers in man coverage one-on-one.
Got to give a big shout out to David for his first ever super chat on the channel. Thank you so much, my man, David. I appreciate that. Celebrate the first super chat from David. Everybody give David some love. He sends in his first super chat
you, David,
of his life to Jets Media. That means a lot, guys. We really do appreciate all the support on the channel. So again, David, for the $10, you don't have a comment next to your super chat, but we really do appreciate the super chat coming our way here on the channel. Just a reminder, folks, we are live here on Jets Media, and we are going to have a special guest coming on here around 11:30 a.m. Between 11:30 and 12, Jake Asman will be joining us. You guys know Jake Asman very well by now. He is the man. He is someone that is absolutely killing it in the YouTube world, ESPN. He's doing everything you need to do. Now, I think that we need to really get our heads in the right space for week one. I mean, week one is literally here, guys. Week one is here. And I'm really, really excited to get this freaking thing going. Like, I don't know. I'm trying to just rationalize what the expectations are in terms of who is going to go off, who is going to struggle. But the reality is we just want to win the football game. We just want to win the damn game. And I'm really excited to announce the sponsor of the Jets Media podcast and the Jets Media YouTube channel. That is BetUS. Now, BetUS, as you guys know, is the proud sponsor of Jets Media, the official sportsbook sponsor of Jets Media. If you guys want to get a 125% sign-up bonus, you guys can click the link that is now pinned in the chat or down below in the description if you're watching this on replay to get your 125% sign-up bonus. Now, they are coming out with some sick prop bets, and I really want to get into all the bets that they have on BetUS. First, we got to talk about this one right here because, hey, week one, baby. Week one. So on BetUS right now, I'll make this big so you guys can see it. You guys don't need to see us anymore. The Jets are 2.5-point underdogs. Woo! And the over-under is at 46. So everybody in the chat right now, I want to hear your thoughts of the over-under first and foremost, because I personally think this is going to go under. I think that the New York Jets and the Buffalo Bills both have great defenses, and I think it's going to be one of those gritty battles, and I'm taking the under here personally. Jack, when it comes to the over-under, do you expect this to be a high-scoring game, low-scoring game? Where are you feeling?
Listen, I totally understand, how the evidence would suggest that this is going to be a lower-scoring, gritty defensive game. But I'm going to take the opposite stance on this one, man. I really am. I think Rodgers is going to come out looking to sling the rock, looking to show people who he is and what he can still do. And I think Josh Allen is going to do the same. Josh Allen did not play well against the New York Jet defense last year, and he wants to flip the narrative. And, the Bills are in the middle of their Super Bowl window as well. And, it's time for Josh Allen to really, prove to everybody that he can be a championship quarterback.
Which he won't.
And it starts, which he won't. But, it starts week 1, in a 17-game season. This isn't baseball or basketball where, 80 games, 160 freaking games. Every game is important in the NFL, especially against the division. So, both these teams are going to be looking to come out slinging it, I think. I think this is going to be a high-scoring game. While I do think, these defenses have a lot of great things to add, and, there could be some big defensive plays as well that may or may not change the outcome of the game. Who knows?
It's possible.
I think that, this could be a shootout, man. But either one is definitely possible. But I'll go with the over on this one.
Yeah, interesting. Yeah, I'm taking the under. Jack's got the over. So let us know right now in the chat. I'll put a poll up right now because this is interesting. I mean, these are things are hard to predict in terms of the over/under. So let me get your guys' thoughts.
Yeah, the over/under is always a tough one for me.
Which are you taking? So are we taking the over? What is it? 46. Over 46 or under 46? For week 1. Let us know in the poll right now, guys. You have this as a high-scoring game or a low-scoring game. And again, if you guys want to play some bets, you guys will get a 125% sign-up bonus on BetUS when you click that link in the description, which basically means you put $100 down, you will get $225 total dollars to play with. And if you put $200 down, you'll get $450 to play with. So they really help us out. But I do want to remind you guys, please bet responsibly. If you guys have any gambling problems, you guys can reach out to me, and there's a hotline in New York and New Jersey you guys can reach out to. I'm very proud to be partnered up with BetUS, and I'm making all my bets on there, baby. I'm making all my bets on there.
Yeah, shout out to BetUS. Excuse me. They've been in the game for a long time. Anything that any other sportsbook has to offer, BetUS also has to offer. So make sure you guys sign up using that link in the description. Get that 125% bonus. Why the hell would you not do that? But, of course, always bet responsibly. And, feel free to reach out to Richie or myself if you're having any issues or anything like that. There's hotlines. There is help. But, yes, BetUS is the proud sponsor, and we thank BetUS. And we'll be taking, many numbers and any sort of gambling numbers, lines, spreads, money lines, over-unders. Those are all coming from BetUS. So thank you, BetUS, for sponsoring Jets Media, man. Shout out.
Yeah. Big shout out. Now, this is another bet that they have that I find interesting. I mean, plus 1,200 is you'll make some good money there. Can the Jets start 5-0? I mean, now this is hard to predict, right? Everyone's like, yeah, the Jets 5-0. But hey, plus 1,200 means it's very unlikely to happen. So, for example, if you don't know how betting works, if you put $100 down on this to happen and it hits, you win $1,200. Even if you put $10 on this bet, you'll win $120. So that means you will win a lot plus money. And I personally don't think this is realistic just because of the schedule that the Jets have. If they had a cakewalk schedule to start out, I'd feel more comfortable sprinkling some cash. But hey, maybe a $5 bet on here doesn't hurt anybody. Now, this one is interesting because you guys can predict where the Jets finish in the AFC East. Now, it's the same odds for the first, second, third place. And I love how the fourth place is plus 350. Now, I'm putting my money on first place at plus 250. I think this is the season where the New York Jets win the damn division.
I think so too, man. I mean, it all comes down to the gosh darn New England Patriots, man. Because I like how we match up against the Bills. Obviously, we split with them last season. Split with the Dolphins last season as well. But still can't find a way to beat the freaking New England Patriots. But Richie, that changes this year, my friend. We are winning the AFC East. I predict that we will sweep the Patriots, sweep the Dolphins, and split. I wasn't sure whether I was going to say sweep or split. So I'm going to go with split with the Bills, trying to keep it realistic here. I don't want to completely wear my Jets blinders, but, sometimes I got to throw some hot takes out there, get the chat riled up. Come on, everybody.
That's what we're talking about.
But, yeah, man, I mean, maybe if you can, sprinkle a little bit on the Jets to win the division, sprinkle a little bit on them to start 5-0. Because let me tell you something, man. With the schedule in the second half of this season, if the Jets start 5-0, Super Bowl.
Oh my
gosh. Super Bowl champions.
We already say that we're in the Super Bowl if that happens.
Oh man.
Now, this is the odds to win the AFC East according to all different teams. You know, the Bills are the favorite at plus 125. The Jets are in second next to the Bills, with the Dolphins right behind them at plus 300. And the Patriots seem very unlikely to win the division. So,
look at how the tables have turned in the AFC East, man. For 2 decades, we were all the Patriots punching bags, and now look at them, plus 800 to win the East.
It's a gorgeous freaking sight.
Oh,
absolute
man.
Gorgeous sight. We got a generous super chat from the man and the myth, the legend, King Jamie.
Shout out to King Jamie,
Thank you,
man.
King Jamie. We appreciate you. The AFC goes through Kansas City, but your Jets look like they could make it hard on the entire league and possibly take down the crown. Sweet office. Jack looks relaxed.
You know, I'm always keeping it relaxed, man. We got a long show. You know, trying to keep that back nice and limber. But thank you, Jamie. You're absolutely right. The AFC 100% does go through the defending Super Bowl champion Kansas City Chiefs. But let's see what happens week 4, Jamie. You know I love you, Jamie. I'm not talking any trash at you, Jamie. You're the man. You're one of the most loyal people on here. But let's see week 4, man. Sunday Night Football, prime time. Woo-hoo! I could not be more excited. This is like the first Sunday Night Football game the Jets have played in like the history of the planet. I'm I couldn't be more excited. I mean, the first 6 games on the Jets schedule are brutal, man. Brutal. So, it's
4-2.
It's going to be a very important matchup. But Jamie, we love you, man. Thank you for the super chat. Really appreciate it. And we'll see you week 4, buddy. We will see you week 4. Mark that down.
Yeah, we will see you week 4 with the whole world watching. That's going to be freaking something special if I ever saw one. But yeah, Jamie, can't wait to meet you in Jets Media Day as well. Let's freaking do it. Now, Robert Saleh is currently speaking with the media, so we are going to give you guys some updates of what he has to say. And so the first update we got from Saleh is Breece Hall won't practice today, per Saleh, who calls it a planned rest day. Hall's expected to play, as is Cook. They won't be on a snap count, per Saleh, says they will be prudent with their usage.
Okay. I mean, listen, when you have 2 running backs as talented as Breece Hall and Dalvin Cook, pick your poison, you know? There's no need to rush either of these guys into, getting 25-plus carries a game, although that doesn't seem to be the concern. They said they're not on a snap count or anything like that. But, I mean, can we just take a second to talk about the Jets running backs, Rich? Who has a better running back 3 in the NFL than Michael Carter? I mean, did the Jets have the best running back room in the NFL? Maybe that should be the next poll in the chat. I mean, what do you guys think, man? The Jets running backs are stacked. When did this happen? How did all of our skill positions become stacked? I mean, it's unbelievable, man. What a feeling. But I'm excited to see what Breece Hall can do coming back from this ACL. Obviously, if you go out and get a player of Dalvin Cook's caliber, you're gonna find a way to use Dalvin Cook. So, I mean, between that 1-2 punch, Michael Carter as well, man. I mean, come on. This could be dangerous. Rodgers doesn't even have to throw the ball, and this offense could be dangerous as hell.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. Big shout out to my man Dan in the chat, Dan S. We appreciate you tuning in, man. Appreciate the love. Phil Adams, thank you, man. Appreciate you, as always. And shout out to everybody in the chat, man. Shout out to everybody in the chat. We appreciate you.
You guys are making this a lot of fun, man. I can't believe the first hour is already pretty much in the books.
Yeah, wow. First hour of the Jets Media podcast. We do have another injury update from Saleh. He says rookie Will McDonald is back at practice after missing a day last week. He had a wisdom tooth pulled. So Will McDonald is back, which is really huge because he did get dinged up in that game against the Giants. So it's good to see that he is back in action 100%. Very, very good sign for the New York Jets.
Richie, who gets more sacks this year, Will McDonald or Jermaine Johnson?
I think Jermaine Johnson, because he's going to get more playing time, and he's just poised for it. Even though Will McDonald is more of a pure pass rusher and Jermaine Johnson's more of like a 3-down defensive end.
Yeah.
Like Jermaine Johnson is going to be the every down, like first down, because he can defend against the run. He can do it all. Yeah. Where Will McDonald is that pure pass rusher in pass rushing situations. And you could argue Will McDonald can definitely surpass Jermaine Johnson. I don't think that would be a bad thing. But I think Jermaine Johnson is poised for double-digit sacks this year. I think that he can get to 10.
Double-digit sacks would be phenomenal from Jermaine Johnson.
I think he's playing with another edge, man. I think he's playing with a completely different mindset, a lot more confidence. You can tell that Jermaine was very upset with himself last year, watching his own film, saying that I'm better than that.
Yeah.
And, I think that the Jets can have 2 double-digit sackers in Quinnen Williams and Jermaine Johnson, and a bunch of people with 7 or more. And Will McDonald, Bryce Huff can be up there. I mean, we're talking about a deep defensive line. Even like guys like Quentin Jefferson, I think can get 5. Michael Clemens can get you 3 or 4. We're just deep and loaded. But I'm assuming, Jack, you think Will McDonald can surpass Jermaine?
No, not necessarily. I was just kind of curious. That was just one of the little questions I've been going back and forth with myself, because like you said, Jermaine Johnson is kind of like, an every down defensive end. He can stop the run. He could also get after the quarterback, and he looks freaky compared to last year too. I mean, he's always been, a physically freaky looking guy, but I mean, he looks like a different person, man. He looks like he's about to absolutely get after it this year. But to your point, Will McDonald is going to get those pure pass rushing opportunities. So Will McDonald might have more opportunities to get sacks just because he's on the field during those pass rushing situations. I do think when it comes down to it, Jermaine will probably get more. But, I know you're not sleeping on him, Rich. I'm not accusing you of this, but nobody sleep on Will McDonald, man. I mean, he's, we took him in the first round for a reason. So I think he's about to turn some heads this year with his speed and his finesse alone. Obviously he's a bit undersized for the position, traditionally at least. But what he lacks in muscle mass, I guess you could say, he makes up for with his quickness, and his ability to, just outrun, these big offensive tackles. So I think the two of them are going to be used, in very different ways. But, for these 2 young edge guys, man, the sky's the limit.
And I think we really need to throw in the third edge guy in that conversation with Bryce Huff.
So underrated.
Bryce Huff has a chance to have just as many sacks as Will McDonald. I mean,
absolutely.
He's going to be in every single pass rush situation. He has the literal best get off the line of scrimmage in the NFL.
He would be a starter on any other team. And not that he's not a starter, but we just rotate our guys,
He's that third down pass rush situation guy.
Yeah.
And that game against the Giants, I don't know if you guys saw that play, but I literally thought he was offsides, which how fast he got off the line of scrimmage. I mean, the ball was snapped, and he was literally in the backfield before the damn Giants offensive line it started backpedaling, and he got to that quarterback within 0.5 seconds. I mean, Bryce Huff is so freaking good, and I think that he's one of those dangerous pieces to this defensive line that makes us that deep, because we come in waves, right? The opponent's offensive lines are going to have to really game plan against this Jets defensive line, not focus on 1 or 2 or 3 players. We're going to come at you with waves. You got to focus on the length and the ability of Will McDonald, and then all of a sudden you got the speed of Bryce Huff off the edge, and then you got the power of Jermaine Johnson that can bull rush you. And I mean, it's just ridiculous, the depth. And I think that the 3 young studs and the future of the defensive end and the edge rusher position is Jermaine Johnson, Will McDonald, and Bryce Huff. Bryce Huff is going to be interesting to see the future of his ability with these Jets, because he is entering a contract year. Are the Jets going to be able to extend him? If he does move on, the Jets will get compensated with the comp pick. Or is he a trade asset maybe at the deadline? If the Jets really want to go all in for a guy like Davante Adams, could he be in a trade package situation? I personally don't want to trade Bryce Huff at all. I think that the Bryce Huff trade situation is bogus unless it's for a damn superstar player like a Davante Adams. That's a different conversation. Now, we do have a super chat from Lissell, awesome LA. Go, baby.
Everybody gets a JTS and a round of applause for your super chats. We really appreciate all you guys.
Thank you, man. He says, did you guys hear what happened to McDonald? So nothing happened to McDonald other than he got a wisdom teeth pulled, if that's what you're referring to. He is all good. He's practicing today fully. So if that's what you're referring to, that's the update. He is 100% ready to go, unless there's an update that I missed. Yeah, he missed some practice because his wisdom teeth was taken out, which I got taken out and was not fun.
Yeah, that can knock you out for a couple days for sure.
Yeah, so Will McDonald is fine, guys. No need to worry. And can we just give a quick pause and a quick appreciative moment that the New York Jets are freaking fully healthy heading into the season? Like, how many times do we have like training camp injuries? Like, the only injury that the Jets suffered in the preseason happened in OTAs, and that was Chuck Clark for the season. And that sucks. I'd really like to see what Chuck Clark was going to do, but the Jets were quick, and they go get Smash and Adrian Amos. So, just want to appreciate that. And I know that we have a full season of health that we have to hope for, but like we got to take this seriously, man, because the Jets put a lot of effort and a lot of focus in on the sports science of how to avoid injuries with their athletic department and their training staff, and they did a phenomenal job, man.
It's it's not something that we should just brush over, because obviously in-season injuries are more of a thing than preseason injuries. But for us to get through the summer, fully healthy, obviously there were some sketchy moments in there. The offensive line was worrying a lot of people for some weeks. And then it all of a sudden it seems like all at once it's like, okay, Dwayne Brown is back.
Wild.
Tomlinson is here. AVT and Becton are both healthy, and they're both repping with the ones. And guys, can I say this? Football gods, please, for the sanity of Jets fans, can we see Elijah Vera-Tucker and Mekhi Becton playing next to each other for a full season? Please, fingers crossed. Prayers to the football gods. Can we please see the two players that were drafted to play next to each other actually play next to each other? Please.
Oh my God.
Please. That's all I want. I mean, besides, a Super Bowl championship. Come on, guys.
No, that will lead us to Super Bowl championship.
Oh, yeah.
We got a super chat from Corey. Thank you, Corey, for the $2 super chat. He says, Bills got 5 free wins a year in our division. Not no mo. That's true. Now let's get 5 wins for us. Let's sweep the Dolphins. Let's sweep the Patriots. Let's sleep with the Bills. Split with the Bills, rather.
Or sweep them.
Or sweep them.
6-0 in the AFC East, baby. It's our division.
I'm trying to sit grounded somewhat.
Of course.
But Robert Saleh actually did say, quote, everyone's good to go. So there's not an injury to report, which is freaking unreal.
What kind of world are we living in, man, where we have Aaron Rodgers as our quarterback and nobody's, out for the season in August and early September?
Wow. It's just so beautiful.
It is beautiful, man. It really is beautiful.
It's just like the fact that we actually have health heading into a season is music to my freaking ears, guys. Let's go. Now,
not something to be taken for granted, This is a violent sport with, freakishly big dudes that are running very fast and hitting into each other very hard. And, health ruins seasons, We see it every year where, a great player unfortunately goes down and then it changes the trajectory of that entire team's season. So it's definitely not something to be taken for granted. Very, very lucky to be fully healthy heading into the season opener.
No, 100%, man. It's usually never the case.
No, never.
Guys, if you're just tuning into the show for the first time, please do us a favor. Simply smash that like button. This is the first episode of the brand new The Jets Media Podcast with Jack and myself that will be live every single Monday from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. Next Monday is going to be a little different. We're probably going to go live earlier in the a.m. because it's game day, and I got to go to MetLife Stadium early because we're doing the AFC's Roundtable event. Woo. By the way, if you guys are going to week 1, and you don't have any plans for the tailgate, let me know. We do have tickets available for the Gotham City Crew tailgate. That's going to be a freaking party. We're going to go crazy. We're going to have a lot of freaking fun. We're doing a live show from the tailgate on the AFC East Roundtable YouTube channel, and it's going to be fun. So Jack and I didn't really discuss exactly the start time, but it's going to have to be earlier in the morning, and it's probably not going to be a full 3-hour show. It's going to be probably like an hour to 2 hours, and then immediately Jack and I hit the road to MetLife Stadium after that because we got to go live on game day. And we were thinking about it. Should we wait for Tuesday morning? No, we're going live Monday morning before we leave, whether it's super early. I'm sure Jets fans are going to wake up at like 5 in the morning that day from adrenaline.
Oh, I could barely even sleep last night thinking about doing the podcast today.
Yeah, same.
I can't imagine next week when this team actually is ready to take the field on prime time in front of the entire country.
No, it's true. Now, I do want to talk about the Jets captains. I don't know if they announced the captains yet. I thought today would be the day where they announce it. I think it's pretty self-explanatory who's going to be the captains. It's going to be one captain from the offense, one captain from the defense, one captain from the special teams, which will be 3 total, and then the coaches vote on one every Friday to switch a captain. So I think it's pretty self-explanatory. Aaron Rodgers, CJ Mosley, Justin Hardy. Today's when they voted, says Dane in the chat. So I guess we will find out who the official captains are. But that's my front runners to win it.
Yeah, I would agree. Those are the 3 most likely candidates by far.
Yeah, man.
Pretty much a lock, I'd say.
Yeah, I think it's a lock. But the 4th captain will be interesting to see who wins that job outside.
Sorry, Zach, but the C on your jersey has been revoked.
And it goes to Aaron Rodgers. Can you guys believe that Aaron Rodgers is a damn Jet?
I still can't. I mean, I'm not. I know I've said this at the beginning of the stream, but I mean, it really is like a freaking fever dream, man. I was talking to one of my buddy's fathers last night, who's also a big Jets fan, and it's just like it really doesn't feel real. I mean, I don't know when it's finally going to kick in. I guess next week, but I mean, it still feels like are we being punked? Like, where's the hidden camera? You know, like it's crazy. Never in my wildest dreams would I think that we'd be in a position like we are right now. Unbelievable.
100%. Now, we do have some other things that I wanted to just some player prop situations, and I want to get your guys' thoughts in the chat of like predictions of stats and everything.
I like that.
Now, when it comes to touchdowns, who do you think will get more touchdowns this year? I already have my answer. Allen Lazard or McCall Hardman? Let us know in the chat right now. McCall Hardman or Allen Lazard? Now,
I can give it's going to be tough to pick one, but I can give reasons why both of them will be getting their fair share of touchdowns. Lazard, obviously, the chemistry with Rodgers is there for sure, but Lazard is that big, 6'5", physical, go up and get it, vertical type, one-on-one, 50-50 ball, corner of the end zone type guy, I feel like. So I think he'll be seeing, a fair share of red zone targets, which obviously bodes well for touchdowns. Now, Mecole Hardman was kind of, living under the shadow of Tyreek Hill for years in Kansas City. I think he has the potential to be, a player unlike the Jets have had. I mean, we had Robbie Chosen, formerly known as Chosen Anderson, formerly known as Robbie Anderson, who was, our we had Robbie Chosen, who was our, deep ball go route on the sideline guy. But Mecole Hardman is a much better, much more versatile, much more polished version of that. So, obviously Garrett Wilson is the undisputed number 1 do-it-all wide receiver. I think Allen Lazard is going to be a factor in the red zone for sure because of his physicality and his size. And I think Mecole Hardman is going to be our, absolute burner, 60 yards in the air, bomb touchdown guy. So I'm going to go with Lazard for the red zone target reasons. But I do think there's going to be at least, hopefully 4 or 5 times this year where, we see Mecole Hardman streaking up the sideline with the ball in his hands with nobody anywhere near him.
I think all of Hardman's touchdowns are going to be like 50-plus yards.
Yeah,
I don't know why. And it's not going to be – there's going to be some times where it's a vertical deep ball, but I think there's sometimes a little quick slant to Hardman. He just turns on the jets and you just can't catch him. Like, that's what he brings to the table in terms of his ability after the catch and the speed dimension that he brings. But I think Allen Lazard, honestly, bold take, nothing against Garrett Wilson, but I think Lazard can lead the team in receiving touchdowns just because of the red zone threat that he brings. I think Garrett Wilson's going to lead the Jets in receptions and yards by a large margin. And I think Garrett Wilson will have 10-plus touchdowns, but I think Lazard can have like 13, 12 touchdowns just based off being that red zone threat, understanding the system very well. So I'm going Allen Lazard. I'm really high on him.
Yeah, man. He's a matchup issue.
Another topic I wanted to bring up, guys, that we heard from Rex Hogan, the assistant GM, talk with Eric Allen, on the official Jets podcast. The announcement that undrafted free agent Xavier Gipson will be the starting New York Jets punt returner.
I love that.
I think that's awesome, man.
I love it.
What a story. What a story for Xavier Gipson to not only make the team, but be the starting punt returner. He had multiple great returns in the preseason. He also had very good ability on the field as a receiver. He's a slot guy, the prototypical player that can pick up yards after the catch, twitchy, speedster. And we saw Hard Knocks last week of the feature of Gipson and Brownlee's connection. And I think it's awesome, man, that we have these two rookie wide receivers to kind of blossom into our own. And don't forget, Allen Lazard was an undrafted free agent for the Green Bay Packers, and Aaron Rodgers kind of like put his arm around him and developed him into the person he is today in Allen Lazard, getting the contract he got with the New York Jets. So you never know. Rodgers can be that same type of wisdom into Gipson and Brownlee to kind of make them be long-term people for these New York Jets. So, Jack, what's your thoughts of Xavier Gipson being the starting punt returner and potentially even having some ability in the pass-catching game for the Jets offense?
I think he will, work his way into the offense as well. I think he shined during that final preseason game against the Giants and really, obviously earned a spot on the 53 and well-deserved because he played extremely well in that game. And his abilities as a returner as well, I think, will be pretty sky high. I mean, it's not going to be that difficult to improve on what Braxton Berrios did or didn't do last season. I don't know what the hell happened when it came to, forgetting how to field the punt, Braxton. But Xavier, I think will be a stud, man. Not just special teams, but I think they might have to find ways to work him to the offense as well because he's super talented and he's young. He's got those fresh legs, So work these guys in. Brownlee as well, made the roster for good reason. Work these guys in. See what they got. I'm excited for these guys, man. I really, really am.
Yeah, and we hearing Rodgers also speak on Gipson. Mic'd up on the sideline. We heard him after the game. He referred to Gipson as 82. Like 82 showed out. 82 showed out. And that 82 happens to be Gipson. And he gives me Jamison Crowder vibes because of the number 82, slot receiver, kind of
stature.
Like just that slot guy, like that can just, it's 3rd and long or like 3rd and 7. You give him the ball short of the sticks, he's going to go pick up that first down.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's kind of what I'm hopeful for with those young undrafted free agents. And I was kind of, and Jack remembers this, I was not upset, but I was a little disappointed rather that the Jets did not draft one receiver in the draft class last year. Like you got to at least draft one. And they were aiming to draft Jason Brownlee, by the way.
They were, yeah.
But they ended up getting him in the undrafted free agency pool. And then they get Xavier Gipson. So the fact that we have 2 rookie receivers on the active 53-man roster heading into the season that were both undrafted, it's a really fun story to watch for the whole season. If you want to look at this whole team in terms of the undrafted free agents that they have, Bryce Huff, stud. Tony Adams, starter. I mean, Allen Lazard you could throw in there, but the Jets didn't get him as an undrafted free agent. We got him in free agency ourselves. But Joe Douglas, he's done a great job with these undrafted free agents. And
I was just going to say,
Trey Dean is another guy who, did not make the 53-man roster, but he's on the practice squad, which is a really good thing. And I think that, he did everything he possibly could to make this team, but the Jets are just deep, and they went with the extra linebacker with Chaz Surratt over the extra safety in Trey Dean. And he's a tackling monster. And that's another guy who could potentially be a player for the future. And remember, Tony Adams last year did not make the team initially. He was on the practice squad for the New York Jets to start out, undrafted free agent, and then as the season progresses, we had injuries at the safety room. He got elevated onto the active roster, and then he played against the Dolphins in that game, and he shined, and now he's the starting free safety for the New York Jets as an undrafted free agent. So I think that's a really underrated aspect to Joe Douglas's tenure here, is you look back at that 2020 draft class, and it's obviously a nightmare with Mekhi Becton hopefully being healthy, Denzel Mims bust, Pirine bust, James Morgan bust, Bryce Hall looking bad. That draft class, we can all agree, sucks. But you got to throw Bryce Huff in that draft class too. I mean, he wasn't drafted, but he's like the gem of that entire draft class. And that's just a little testament of Joe Douglas's tenure here so far, getting those diamond in the rough in places like the undrafted free agency pool.
Absolutely, man. I mean, Joe Douglas is just good at his job. Shout out to him. And
this is the year we officially build a statue after we win, because that's the last thing we need to do.
We didn't, as Richie said, he was hoping to draft a receiver this year, whether it be, late in, day 3 or whatever it is. He wanted to draft a guy. Didn't end up happening. what do we end up doing? 2 undrafted free agents end up making the 53-man roster. So, that's Joe Douglas finding those gems, finding those diamonds in the rough. And, I think obviously we know Gibson is gonna contribute in a special team sense. And I know, we'll see if either of them have anything to contribute from an offensive standpoint as well, from a receiving standpoint. So Joe Douglas is just, continuing to do good things. Quincy Williams is another guy, grabbed Quincy off the waivers. All of a sudden he gets a contract and he becomes a great player. So, shout out to Joey D, man.
Another undrafted free agent that made the team that we got a few years back is Kenny Yeboah. He's tight end number 4. He is starting off on the IR this season, which means he'll be out for the first 4 games. But the tight end room is looking pretty interesting. And I think that that's a position group that not a lot of us are really talking about because all the hype is pretty much everywhere else on the offense but the tight end room. But it's a pretty solid unit. I mean, Tyler Conklin and CJ Uzomah are both those seasoned vets. And I think Jeremy Ruckert has a chance to prove to be the future featured tight end for the New York Jets. And then another position that I kind of wanted to focus in on right now, and shout out to Matt O'Leary. He made a phenomenal video yesterday on his channel, kind of brought this up and brought it to the attention of Jets fans, is Nick Bowden. Right there, we're adding a different dimension, a different layer to the Jets offense that we haven't really seen before, and that's a traditional fullback. And Nick Bowden, we saw in the preseason, be utilized a lot. And I think he's going to be in the I formation, be that lead blocker for Breece Hall, Dalvin Cook, and all the running backs. He can even be catching some balls out of the backfield, streaking down the field at times. I mean, he's another weapon that I think that could be utilized. So, Jack, what's your overall thoughts of the tight end room and mixing in Nick Bowden in there as the fullback?
I think it's cool that we have, a traditional fullback in the mix. I'm excited to see, how Bowden's going to be used. I assume, mainly as a lead blocker, as, traditional fullbacks are used. But who knows, man? I mean, like Richie said, he's another, he's a weapon. Who knows what's going to happen? And who knows how he's going to, look out there. But, pivoting over to the tight ends, I think that, they're another group with, sky high potential. I think we have different kinds of players that can beat you in different ways, I think Conklin is your most traditional, pass catching, route running tight end. I think CJ Uzomah brings plenty to the table as a blocker, but also, as a pass catcher as well, maybe slightly less than Conklin. But I think if you use CJ Uzomah in the right situations, maybe again in the red zone, talking like Alan Lazard, CJ Uzomah is another huge, tall, big stature dude who can go up and get it in a 50-50 situation. I'd like to see him used more like that. And then you got, Yeboah and you got Jeremy Ruckert, who are versatile as well, both as blockers and as pass catchers. I think Ruckert's strength is blocking more than pass catching, and I think Yeboah's strength is pass catching more than blocking. So I think, we have a tight end room that just complements each other really well. And, kind of similar to the defensive line, regardless of the situation, we have that guy that we can plug in to be the best and beat you in that particular scenario. So I'm hoping for the revival of the tight end.
And Aaron Rodgers will do that
offense. And if anyone's going to do it, it's Aaron Rodgers, because guys, Dustin Keller was the last real, this guy's good. We thought we had a flash in the pan. Well, we did have a flash in the pan, but that's all it ended up being with the Sam Darnold to Chris Herndon connection, which ended up being an L, obviously, as we all know. But this year could be the revival of the tight end position, guys. But even if it ain't, we got the running backs and we got the receivers to beat you as well, man. So it's just, this Jets offense is going to be...
I mean, the tight end room is definitely going to be utilized. We saw in the preseason, 100%. It was all tight end running back targets. I mean, there was not even a lot of wide receiver targets. Even with Zach Wilson, I know Aaron Rodgers is the quarterback, but in terms of the scheme and in terms of the schematics of Nathaniel Hackett's system, it's all about setting up play actions, little bootlegs. Oh, you think we're going this way? Right. And then the tight end kind of just slips out to the opposite side. And I think CJ Uzomah is a player that I think that Jets fans are going to start to appreciate more, because I think he has a really good connection with Aaron Rodgers off the football field, and I think that he's developing trust. And I think Aaron Rodgers is a quarterback that really embodies the trust element of his receivers rather than just talent. I think that he understands CJ Mosley, is somebody that is a seasoned vet, very intelligent, and I think when the play starts to break down, I think CJ Uzomah is a perfect guy to be on the same page with Rodgers in scramble drills, understanding the cues, reading the defense. Oh, it's 3rd and short. Okay, look, CJ, they're showing this. Just get to the stick, turn around. The ball's going to be out, and you're going to get the first down on 3rd and 3. Like, I think CJ Uzomah is going to have a really big impact this year. I really do think so. I don't think he's going to be a top 10 or even top 15 tight end in the NFL, but in terms of like this Jets system and picking up those clutch plays, that's CJ Uzomah's role. Tyler Conklin's going to be probably more utilized in terms of volume, more targets, and more ability. And then Jeremy Ruckert, I think, is really the wild card because he's got so much upside. He's the best blocking tight end on the roster, no doubt about it. And you can argue he has the most upside in terms of pass catching ability. I mean, he definitely shows more upside than Uzomah. And then Conklin is more that, typical big-bodied guy. But I really like Jeremy Ruckert as well in year 2 from Ohio State. He's going to be featured a lot. And then one more time, Nick Bowden, man, that's a player that we're going to be shocked to see what he can bring to this Jets team in terms of the fullback role. We haven't had a traditional fullback in quite some time, man. And I think that, turning back the clock a little bit is always going to be a fun little callback to the classic
Absolutely.
football of having a OG fullback. Now,
absolutely.
I did want to talk about another thing, and it's kind of off topic from this, and that's just the trade deadline. And, Mike Evans apparently is having a contract dispute with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and Corey Davis walked away from the game of football, opens up the Jets with a lot of interesting cap flexibility, right? And then Mike Evans, bro. I know Devontae Adams is the pipe dream here, but if you want to go all in, if Mike Evans becomes available, I freaking go for him. Can you imagine this receiver room with Garrett Wilson, Allen Lazard, and Mike Evans, and Hardman, and Randall Cobb? Like, that is the guy. And if you're looking at it from Mike Evans' perspective, I won a Super Bowl with Tom Brady. Why would I not want to try to go all in and win one with Aaron Rodgers? And by the way, do I have to remind everybody that Mike Evans has never in his life had a year under 1,000 yards. Like, this guy is a veteran that knows exactly how to play football at the wide receiver spot. And don't make it seem like he's old. He's only 30. That is a perfect age for a veteran. So, Jack, if Mike Evans does become available, hypothetically speaking, the Buccaneers and him do not get a contract done, and the Buccaneers believe, okay, we're not winning this year, let's get something for Mike Evans in return, would you be open to going all in and trading for Mike Evans, or do you feel content with the roster in terms of the weapons around Rodgers?
Listen, I think the answer to both of those questions is yes. I mean, I'm content with this receiver room. I'm content with these skill position players. But when a player like Mike Evans, who, when he becomes available and you have, your quarterback in place, as we do with Aaron Rodgers, Joe Douglas is making that phone call, Joe Douglas is doing his due diligence, as is his responsibility as general manager of the Jets. And, as Richie said, never a less than 1,000-yard season for Mike Evans throughout a long career. He's a professional. He's been doing it at a high level for a very, very long time. He's a playmaker. He's a deep ball threat. He would bring, he would just bring more, more ability and, another dynamic threat to this receiving room. And, if you're Joe Douglas, you absolutely have to make that call. You have to, as I said, do your due diligence. And I think Mike Evans would eat it up, the opportunity to come to a different city, different team, catch passes from Aaron Rodgers. I don't necessarily think he's super excited to go from Tom Brady to Baker Mayfield. So, come to New York, my friend. We would love to have you. And I think that,
Mike Evans, future New York Jet, baby.
Let's make
Calling
that
it
call.
now.
Let's
Now,
make that call.
I want to show you guys this photo real quick, just because we got dogs.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, look at how yoked Dalvin looks. Let's just make this full screen real quick so you guys can see it full screen. Now, this is the best running back duo in the NFL, right before our eyes. Tell me a better running back duo than these two. I mean, we're talking about a guy, and speaking of Mike Evans, 1,000-yard receiving. Dalvin Cook, 1,000 yards rusher, 4 straight seasons. Breece Hall, well over 1,000 yards last year if he stayed healthy. That I would put my every single penny in my bank account that would have happened if he stayed healthy. Look at them. I mean, first of all, Dalvin Cook looks like a monster. And we know what Breece Hall brings to the table because we saw him play football for the Jets last year, but we have no idea what to expect from Dalvin Cook. I mean, we didn't see one action of him in practice. He looks like a beast. Or with preseason. We don't know how they're going to utilize him. It's kind of an unknown. And I think you can say the same thing from the opponents, that nobody knows what to expect in terms of the usage of Dalvin Cook. I feel like we're forgetting. It doesn't, just oh my God, Aaron Rodgers is a Jet, right? Starstruck. It doesn't feel like Dalvin Cook's a Jet yet at all. I mean, because it's just, it happened so recently. Well, we had an absolutely unprecedented offseason, I mean, I feel like, for any other team that didn't just go out and get Aaron Rodgers, getting Dalvin Cook would be the storyline of their offseason. Dalvin Cook is an all-pro, one of the best players at his position in the league for years now. So, you switch this situation here and, add Dalvin Cook onto any other roster. That's all they would be talking about for their entire offseason. I can't believe we got Dalvin Cook. We got Dalvin Cook. We got Dalvin Cook. But we got Aaron Rodgers months before we got Dalvin Cook. So, yeah, I mean, it's it almost feels like a little bonus. It's oh, Dalvin Cook, too. It's oh, great. But, if this was any other year and if we didn't have Rodgers on the roster, we'd be going nuts over this guy and, what he could potentially bring to this offense. So, I think that's something to remember that, take the Jets out of scenario, put Dalvin Cook on, the Dolphins, for example. The Dolphins were desperate to get their hands on Dalvin Cook. That would be all Dolphins fans would be talking about if they landed Dalvin Cook was we got Dalvin Cook, we got Dalvin Cook, we got Dalvin Cook. That would be the story of Sorry, Dolphins. I love it. But, that would be the story of any other team's offseason. We got Dalvin Cook. We got Dalvin Cook. We just happened to get Aaron Rodgers months before Dalvin Cook was even a freaking, a thought, before it was even a possibility. So, that's kind of why it feels so strange. But how about that, man? How about the position we find ourselves in now as Jet fans, where, signing a player of Dalvin Cook's caliber is just a little bonus compared to what we've already done this offseason. It's unbelievable. That's why I wanted to bring it up, man. That's exactly why I wanted to bring it up. So, guys, we are about to transition into the first guest of
I'm excited for this one, ladies and
Jets
gentlemen.
Media podcast. You guys know him very well. His name is Jake Asman. As we bring him in right freaking now, Jake Asman is joining the show, baby. Let's get it going. Jake, welcome to the show, man. How you doing?
What's up, guys? Congrats on the studio.
Thank you, man. Can you hear us?
I hear you. There's like a slight echo in my ear, though.
There's a slight echo in your ear. Well, we got to figure that out because this is obviously brand new in terms of the equipment and the new software we're using. So hopefully we can figure that out. But, Jake, welcome to the show. 1 week away from football. How you feeling about that? Jets football.
Man. One week. I don't know if we're going to make it, folks. It's going to be hard. I mean, a whole another week. It's crazy. I mean, I know we got football on Thursday with the Chiefs and the Lions, and then obviously a full slate next Sunday. But, man, the Jets not kicking off until late Monday night. It's going to be tough to get through.
Hell yeah, man. So we are dealing with an echo right now, so we're going to bear with this. Some technical difficulties, guys. Sorry, it's the first time doing this format. But, Jack, why don't you ask Jake a question here while we figure this out?
Jake, I got a question for you, man. I've been curious about this for a while, and it's really not even it's kind of Jets related, but I'm just gonna get into it. So, obviously, if anybody doesn't know out there, Jake, you're a Long Island guy, lifelong Jets fan, but you're now living down in Texas, covering the Houston Texans, correct?
Yeah. I've been here the last 5 years.
Yeah. So my question to you is, first of all, congratulations. Awesome gig. Living the childhood dream, I imagine. So congratulations on that. I wanted to know, what is that research process like? How do you bring yourself to understand a team like the Texans as intimately as you understand your hometown team, the Jets? What is that process like to familiarize yourself with a team to the point where you're covering them for a major sports outlet?
Yeah, so it's a combination of watching press conferences, keeping up with the news cycle, reading the local beat writers. You just, kind of how we follow the Jets. You kind of do the same thing for the Texans. It's one of those things where I'm never going to be able to like talk about the Texans like a fan because I'm not a fan of them. But you try to put yourself in the shoes of a Texan fan. So when I'm doing a talk show, it's always like from a fan's perspective, right? Like if I were a Texan fan, how would I feel? And the Texans have been awful since 2020 record wise. So I could relate because as a Jet fan, the Jets have been awful. So there's a lot of similarities in covering a bad team because I've been a fan of a bad team for so long. So, from that standpoint, the prep is you just kind of following it the way you would the Jets, even though it's not your team.
Nice. All right, apparently the echo has been fixed according to the chat. So I think I think we might be in business here.
Well, I have to. We'll fix it afterwards better, but I just have to manually do it. So we'll figure that out. But Jake, I think you're the future voice, by the way, of ESPN New York. Personally, you are covering Houston sports for ESPN, but you are also a guy that does ESPN New York radio for us, like here and there. So why don't you talk about that? How has that been from your perspective? Coming and being the voice of New York sports for ESPN. I see you have all these amazing guests. I think Joe Namath. I mean, talk about that, Jake. That's freaking awesome.
Yeah, well, thanks, guys. They offered me some opportunities on a part-time basis to do some shows whenever they might have a shift available here or there, and just try to take advantage of those opportunities. Right, getting a chance to be on in New York City is a lifelong dream. Whether it's ESPN New York or the Fan, I grew up listening to both stations, so to get a chance to actually host on a 98.7. It's been great, and I'm hoping there'll be more opportunities going forward. That's certainly what I'd like to do. What I've always wanted to do is be a talk show host in New York, and I'll be on 1 week from yesterday, so September 10th, right in the middle of week 1, 2 to 6 p.m. It's going to be all Jets and Giants for 4 hours, previewing Giants Cowboys on Sunday night and the Jets on Monday night. So I'm excited. I'll actually be doing that from the New York studios because I've been doing it remote from down here. But I'll be back in New York because I'm going to the Jets game the next day. So I'm excited to be in the studio and be talking sports for 4 hours, have all the games of week 1 on in the studio. So it's going to be a lot of fun.
Fantastic, man.
That's freaking awesome, dude. Congratulations. That sounds great. Definitely, guys, listen to Jake on ESPN Radio, but more importantly, also, make sure you guys check out Jake's YouTube channel. It's linked down below in the description. If you're not subscribed to Jake, I don't know what you're doing by now. But Jake, let's talk about week 1. What the heck should we expect from Aaron Rodgers in his Jets debut? Because there's going to be so much expectations for not only the Jets football team and the coaching staff, but just the quarterback. All the eyes are going to be on Aaron Rodgers. Like, do you expect him to go out there and light it up against the Bills? Do you think he's going to be more conservative and just, establish a run game, have a couple splashy plays, but the defense carries this? So what are your expectations just from the perspective of Aaron Rodgers heading into his first game ever as a New York Jets quarterback on Monday Night Football with the entire planet Earth watching?
I expect him to play well. Now, am I going to predict him to go out there, pull like a Peyton Manning in a week 1 opening night where he threw like 7 touchdowns in one game against the Ravens all those years ago? Like, I'm not going to go that far, but I expect Rodgers to play well. I have no reason not to, right? I mean, this is a guy who's locked in. He's been at every OTA. He's been around this team through every training camp practice. He looked good in limited action in the preseason. I think he goes out there and he plays well, and the Jets are going to be in prime position to win. Look, Breece Hall's going to play. Dalvin Cook's going to play. They don't need Aaron Rodgers in an ideal world, I think, to throw 30 or 35 times, but he should be efficient. We know he'll take care of the ball because that's what he's done his entire career. And if they do that, they're going to be in position to win. So I'm expecting an efficient Aaron Rodgers performance. He'll probably throw 1 or 2 touchdowns, and when he does, MetLife is going to be absolutely insane when that happens, and I can't wait.
I couldn't agree more, man. I think we should be expecting Rodgers to play well. As you said, there's no reason to not expect him to play well. He looked good in the limited preseason reps that he had. But I agree. I'm not gonna hold him to like you said, Peyton Manning against the Ravens standards. I think he's going to come out and play good football, and I think the most important thing is we need to protect the football. We can't turn it over and give it back to the Bills' offense. But that leads me to my next question. What is the path to victory you see against the Buffalo Bills? Can we win in a shootout? Does it have to be a low-scoring defensive game for us to win? How can the Jets get this done?
Kind of ugly defensive style like they did seemingly every win they had last year. Like, I think with Rodgers at quarterback, if you got to win a game 35-30, you now can. Do I think it's going to be that on opening night? No, because the Jets defense will play well, especially when, you look at what Josh Allen has done his last really 3 games against Robert Saleh's defense. Statistically, Josh Allen's worst 2 games a year ago was against this defense for the Jets. So, I think it's going to be probably a game in the 20s, and that should be good enough for the Jets. I think they want to have a ball control offense where they're running the ball, they're sustaining drives. So, I think the Jets can win a variety of different ways this year when you add a guy like Aaron Rodgers to a team that already had this defense in place. I think in a perfect world, the Jets can win this one, 24-20, 27-20, maybe even 24-17. Like, I really think, the Jet defense should play well. And with Von Miller not playing for the Bills on defense, the Jets offensive line, which is now seemingly going to have about 2 or 3 weeks, depending on how you look at Dwayne Brown's return, to kind of get ramped back up and build some cohesion, they should play well. You combine all that, Jets at home, I think it's a good matchup for the Jets after what we saw last year.
And do I need to remind everybody that Josh Allen's worst 2 games of the season last year came against the New York Football Jets defense? Now, Robert Saleh came here. He looked at this AFC East division, and he saw the Buffalo Bills as the number 1 team. He built his defense to kind of shut down Josh Allen, Jake, and it's worked. I mean, you saw what Josh Allen did last year against the Jets. Do you expect Josh Allen to kind of take a step in the right direction just from the perspective of struggling big time against the Jets defense? He knows he struggled. He wants to go and prove himself that he can beat the New York Jets defense because we were coming at him with waves. We had Jermaine Johnson coming off the edge, having that amazing sack in his rookie moment. Sauce Gardner picks him off. Jordan Whitehead picks him off. He has a fumble. Bryce Huff with that fumble in that late fourth quarter game that actually ended up injuring Josh Allen's elbow. So what's your expectations first from like Josh Allen's perspective, your overall thoughts of him as a quarterback going up against this New York Jets defense?
Yeah, look, I mean, Josh Allen's a great player. So do I think the Jets are going to be able to, completely shut him down? No, but, we saw last year, you can make life difficult for Josh Allen, right? You could force a turnover or 2, and that could be the difference in the game. The problem was last year, it's like the Jets had to play like the perfect game to have any chance to win, even in some of the games late in the year where people are like, oh, the defense, they didn't get it done. They fell apart. Like you look at the Lions game, right? They only allowed 20 points in that game. You scored 17. Like that's just not it's tough to win when your offense is that inept, right? Like you seemingly have solved your special teams issues at punter, like that. You should not be losing games where your defense doesn't allow a touchdown. So yeah, the Bills are a good team. Like Josh Allen will make plays. We saw it last year, even in the game the Jets won at MetLife. That great individual effort Josh Allen had on that long touchdown run. Like sometimes a great player is going to make a great play. What gives you confidence, I think, as a Jet fan, is that if Josh Allen makes some plays, you don't feel like the game's over. You feel like Aaron Rodgers can do the same thing and make some plays on his end. His offense can get going again. So I expect Josh Allen, I'm sure, to make plays, as I was alluding to, but I think the Jets are going to be right there. I expect this to be a close game, and the Jets being at home should be a huge factor in this one because, the Jet fan is going to be absolutely pumped to be cheering on this team, a week from tonight.
That's a great point, man. And, I think that, no longer are people looking at their schedule and going, oh, the Jets, it's whatever. People are looking at the schedule and going, oh, we got to play the Jets. That's going to be a tough one, So to your point, if Josh Allen goes out and makes some plays, we have the confidence in our guy to go out there and make some plays of his own. And who's better, in the 2-minute drill than Aaron Rodgers? That's been his bread and butter for his entire career. So yeah, I mean, I think, we will find ourselves with the ability that our defense has to keep it close. I think we'll find ourselves, in a position to win every game. I don't think we'll be blown out once this year. Jake, that brings me to my next question. I want to talk a little bit about Robert Saleh heading into year 3 as the Jets head coach. What does he need to improve on, if there is anything, and what are his strengths?
Well, I think his strengths are the team never once quit on him last year. Like, I think he's got really good buy-in from the team. Like, even with the 29th offense in the league, like, a lot of times that could fracture a locker room when one side of the ball is clearly so much more dominant than the other side. And I never got the sense last year that this team really quit on one another. I think they played hard throughout the totality of the season. Look, he's clearly a player's coach, but I think he's got really good buy-in. He's done a good job kind of flipping over the culture in that locker room from where it was when he first got there. So I think that's his strength. And obviously, look, The big question with Saleh is going to be, okay, the record's not great through 2 years. Now, I put all that to me on the quarterback play more than anything else because I say, well, look what he did with his side of the ball. Defense went from dead last to, a top 5 unit. But, that now the expectations for Saleh is going to be, how do you deal with the fact that you guys are expected to be a good football team? You guys are expected to compete for the AFC. As minimum, you have to be one of the 7 playoff teams in the conference. So that's really the question just because we haven't seen it. But, until Joe Burrow showed up, what was Zach Taylor as a head coach? Kyle Shanahan didn't become Kyle Shanahan until his 3rd year with the San Francisco 49ers. Pete Carroll was 7-9 through 2 years in Seattle, and they added Russell Wilson, and then they took off. So, I just think there's so much talk about, Saleh's record, this and that. It's like if you watch the games, you saw what the issue was. Now I think we could properly evaluate Robert Saleh as a head coach because he's got a real quarterback. And even the great Bill Belichick has missed the playoffs 8 of his 10 years as a head coach where Tom Brady's not a starter. So you need players, and you need a quarterback now more than ever in the NFL. So I'm willing to be patient with Robert Saleh. And now in entering year 3, the expectations have been raised. They should. And now they got to go out there and win. And I think they have a team that should be able to go out there and win.
I agree, man. Excellent point. And I think Robert Saleh, this is the year to really, for the Jets organization to come around him and the Jets players in particular really understanding his philosophy. And I love that all we hear from Saleh, and we get to know Saleh a little bit better through Hard Knocks, is like he always says, play with our style of football, play with the New York Jets standard. He's been trying to build a culture and a standard of the way they do things, of that all gas, no break mentality since he got here. And I think it's finally coming to fruition. Jake, just going back to the Jets-Bills game, week number 1, we talked about how the Jets, defense stacks up against the Buffalo Bills offense with Josh Allen. How do you think this Buffalo Bills defense is going to look against the Jets offense without Von Miller? They have a continuity there with Matt Milano, one of the better linebackers in the NFL. White is a seasoned veteran at corner. They got decent pass rushers over there. So how do you think this Jets offense is going to stack up against the Buffalo Bills defense?
It's going to be interesting. Von Miller not being there, though, is huge, right? I mean, this is a guy that's, just one of those players that affects every play, even when he's not involved in the play, because you have so much attention to try and slow him down. It frees up other guys. I mean, we saw that with Quinn Williams, how much attention he demands, and that allows guys on the Jets' edge to maybe get some one-on-one opportunities. So Von not being there is huge. I would think the Jets would be able to kind of be balanced against this Bills defense, run the ball, set up that Rodgers play action where there's probably not a better quarterback in the league off play action than Aaron Rodgers. So I think the Jets match up well against the Bills. They still have a good defense, which is why, if you're the Jets, it would behoove you to probably get a lead and put some real pressure on Josh Allen here, because I don't think the Bills' offensive line is all that great, to be honest. We talk so much about the Jets' O-line. I think the Bills' offensive line's got their own issues. That all being said, it's still a good defense the Jets are going to be facing. So I wouldn't expect the Jets to go out there and put up 40 on opening night. I don't think that's realistic. But can the Jets score over the league average in points, which was 22, Jet fans? That sounds like a lot. That was league average a year ago. Like, do I think the Jets are capable of putting up at least 3 touchdowns next Monday night? I do. So I think if they do that with the Jets defense, they should win this game next week.
Oh my God, you're getting me hyped up, Jake. I really think
Speaking my language, Jake.
The expectations from this fan base, I think this team is going to meet it. I really genuinely believe it, man. And I don't know about you, Jake, but this is kind of crazy for me personally as a Jets fan. I have so much confidence with this game week 1. I have so much confidence that the Jets are going to win. And I feel like it's a trap or something. I'm like, what's going on? Why do I feel this way? I'm usually the opposite. Oh my God, I'm so nervous. I have this calming feeling inside of me that we're going to win this game, Jake. What's your confidence level that the New York Jets are going to win? I'm not saying it's easy. I think my confidence comes from just seeing how this Jets defense looked last year against this exact opponent in the Buffalo Bills and just how they stack up against this individual team. I'm not sitting here and thinking that's going to be easy. Oh, the Jets are blowing out the Bills. No, that's not what I'm saying. I just have this confidence that I don't know how the game's going to go. I don't know how ugly it's going to be, but that the Jets are going to win. So what's your confidence level of a Jets W week 1 against the Bills?
Yeah. I'm with you, Richie. I feel like it's a good matchup for the Jets. We saw what happened last year defensively, what they were able to do against Josh Allen. I think you factor in no Von Miller, factor in the health of the Jets, you factor in the Jets being at home, you factor in just the maybe the underrated aspect that, yes, the Bills have a lot of players coming back on defense, but Leslie Frazier's not there anymore. Is there going to be an adjustment for the Bills defensively with Sean McDermott now as the head coach being the primary play caller. What does that look like? No one's talked about that. And I don't know, kind of feels like the Buffalo Bills, people forget they nearly lost at home to Skylar Thompson and the Dolphins in the wild card round, and then they got blown out by the Bengals in the divisional round. I think the Bills might be a little overrated. So I'm excited to see if the Jets could come out at home and make a statement, right? I mean, the Jets could play the underdog card because nationally it's the Jets. They're not going to be any good. Same old Jets, 2.5-point underdogs on Monday night. So, I expect the Jets to come out there with the crowd behind them, that being a huge factor in this one. And I expect them to win. I really do. And it kind of scares me how confident I am that they're going to win a week from tonight. I'm not saying it's going to be easy. I'm not saying it's going to be a blowout, but I expect the Jets to win. And I think if you're a Jet fan and you want to be, considered one of the legit teams in the AFC, especially in your own division at home, this is the game you got to win.
Absolutely. I really think if the Jets want to not only make a statement week 1, but prove that they're coming for the damn division and win the AFC East, you got to win this game. And I think that if they win this game week 1, then I really think, and I know it's just week 1, it's 1-0, and it's going to be overreaction week after week 1 always, but they really position themselves in an ability to win the damn division. And I think that is the biggest thing that Jets fans want to see. Aaron Rodgers talked about the Jets winning this division, hosting a damn playoff game. So, Jack, I want to kick it over to you real quick. What's your thoughts of how this Jets team stacks up against the AFC East in terms of, against the Buffalo Bills, the Miami Dolphins, the New England Patriots? And what's your confidence level that they can win the division?
Yeah, listen, man. I mean, we obviously split with Buffalo last year. We split with Miami where we weren't able to pull one out against the freaking New England Patriots. But that all changes this year, man. I really do believe so. I mean, the Patriots are, while they're still, they're not a bad team. I believe that the AFC East, if not, the toughest, definitely, one of the toughest divisions in football. I got to throw the AFC North in there as well. But, I think the division is pretty stacked. I think while the Patriots have the worst roster on paper, as long as they have a solid defense, which they do, and Bill Belichick is their head coach, you can't overlook the Patriots. The Dolphins have assembled a roster filled with talent all over the place, and the Bills are the Bills. It's unfortunately still the Bills division until someone dethrones them. But we match up very well against Buffalo. I like the way we match up against Miami, although we didn't get to see Tua last year, so that's going to be interesting this year to see how the Jets defense deals with Tua at quarterback compared to Skylar Thompson. And then, like I said, the Patriots, while I think this is finally the year that we get back on track and we beat the Patriots, they're not a team to just overlook. I think this could be, the most competitive division in the league this year. So, while I do think we match up very well against all these teams, the division is more stacked than it's ever been, man. And it's so odd because the division is more stacked than it's ever been, with the Patriots being the least exciting of the 4 teams. So it's crazy that the complete 180 that this division is done. But Jake, I wanted to ask you a question. So for anybody in the chat that maybe has not heard, Corey Davis stepped away from the game of football. I want your thoughts. What does that mean for the wide receiver core, and how will his absence affect the offense as a whole? Are we rolling with Gibson and Brownlee? Are we going out and making a move for a Mike Evans, a Hunter Renfrow, a Hollywood Brown? Just some names I've heard floating out there. What are your thoughts on that? Where do you see this wide receiver core going in the future without Corey Davis this season?
So I look at it like this. I don't think in the interim, Corey Davis will impact this team that drastically. Where Corey Davis could impact you is if there's an injury now in front of him. Because I think right now your top 4 of Garrett Wilson, Allen Lazard, Mecole Hardman, Randall Cobb, that's fine. And I do expect, based on some of the comments Rodgers has made and some of the comments that the Jets themselves have made, that maybe Xavier Gibson plays a bigger role than a lot of people think. This is tough to deal with an echo, by the way. I'm doing my best here, guys. But point being is this: I think they have enough depth at tight end, and I think they'll use Breece Hall and Dalvin Cook on the field at the same time, where they have enough talent, enough skill position players to kind of mask not having Corey Davis. You're a little thin if someone else gets hurt without knowing what Gibson and Brownlee are, who are on this team. So when push comes to shove, I think ultimately this is a Jets team that has enough skill position players to make some plays. But you do wonder if there's an injury. All right, they're a little thin at wide receiver. You'd feel like, is there a move coming at that point? I don't think any like major move would happen until we get closer to the deadline. But I don't poo-poo a Mike Evans scenario, a Devontae Adams scenario. I mean, you have to at least talk about it when you consider the Jets being contenders and the starting quarterback gave back $35 million. And the GM the other day essentially said, it goes without saying, if there's a chance for us to upgrade the team, we're going to do exactly that. So I think losing Corey Davis is a bummer. But let's be real. He was probably the number 3 receiver on this team, maybe the number 2, although I didn't really buy it because Corey Davis barely plays, barely has stayed healthy the last 2 years. So I think they're okay at receiver. You do wonder, though, if there's an injury to someone, do they have enough to mask that? But that's where I think having 3 reliable tight ends and having Breece Hall and Dalvin Cook out of the backfield for some plays could be, an effective strategy to still have your best playmakers on the field to make plays downfield.
Well said, man. I agree more. And apologies for the echo again. We're really going to make sure this does not happen again.
Yeah,
we're and I can see how it's happening, but I can't fix it while we're live. But Jake, we do appreciate you dealing with this little echo there. But I do want to ask you a follow-up with that wide receiver room and your thoughts of the undrafted free agents of Jason Brownlee and Xavier Gipson making the team, Gipson being the starting punt returner. Do you expect Gipson to be utilizing this offense as a slot receiver, like with the starters and like actually getting involved in the rotation of Randall Cobb and Hardman at that slot spot? And like your overall thoughts of the wide receiver room in general with Garrett Wilson. I know that you mentioned the Corey Davis, departure isn't going to really impact this. And then just give us your overall thoughts of Garrett Wilson, because I don't know about you, but like I am so on cloud 9, and I have such high expectations for Garrett Wilson, where I think Aaron Rodgers is going to give him the Devontae Adams treatment, just in terms of volume, just in terms of finding him the freaking football whenever he is open, whenever he reads the defense, he knows he's going to get the football. So your overall thoughts of the receiver room with Garrett Wilson and the 2 undrafted free agents.
Look, Garrett Wilson has a legitimate chance to break every single season Jet receiver record. And I agree with you, Richie. I've been all over. Even before Rodgers started making the comparisons, I say if you watch Garrett Wilson, you see the Devontae Adams traits there. He'll turn Garrett Wilson in to Devontae Adams. Do people realize how hard it is to put up 1,100 yards with 9 games of Zach Wilson as your quarterback, with Mike White and Joe Flacco, the QBs in your other games? Like what Garrett Wilson did last year does not get talked enough about. I know he won Offensive Rookie of the Year, but if you watch the games like we did as Jet fans, not people who didn't watch the Jets at all because they sucked, they were never on national TV, and it's like, oh, the Jets are off to this nice start. How many people were actually watching them get off to that 6-3 start or that 7-4 start? Not many. That changes this year, and I think we even saw that in that one preseason game, the amount of volume that Garrett Wilson already had. If he stays healthy and Rodgers is healthy, I mean, we're going to be talking about Garrett Wilson the way we talk about Justin Jefferson, the way we talk about Jamar Chase, the way we talk about these young, up-and-coming star receivers, 25 and under. That's Garrett Wilson, and I can't wait to see that unfold. And then as far as Gipson and Brownlee, look, they clearly like those guys, and the best teams discover those type of players. Like Allen Lazard was an undrafted free agent in Green Bay. Let's not forget that. So it's not like Hackett and Rodgers have never, found a guy, developed a guy, and then that guy became a focal part of their offense. The way they talk about Gipson tells me he's going to play a role in this team. I think he sees some series out there opening night. I'm not going to be surprised at all if that happens. We know Rex Hogan spilled the beans, so to speak, that Gibson's going to be the starting punt returner, and they'll give him some opportunities to maybe compete for the kick returner job. So he's going to play a role, and I wonder, could Jason Brownlee maybe push for an opportunity to get out there? Maybe not right away, but we know how the NFL works. Injuries happen and so on and so forth. So we'll see how that unfolds. But I do think they have enough at receiver. You do wonder if there's an injury, is that when they go out there and make some move? But the big move I don't think happens till we get closer to that trade deadline, as I said earlier.
I agree, man. I think it's an interesting point you made about, the eyes are going to be honest this year. Who even saw the Jets get off to that hot start that they got off to last season, So that's a great point right there, that the eyes are honest. And I agree about Garrett Wilson. I mean, star potential written all over him. Like you said, those, young, hot shot, fresh out of school, under 25 superstar wide receivers. That is Garrett Wilson. That's what he was brought here to be. And I truly believe that that's what we will watch him transform into right before our very eyes this year, man. So great point with that. Jake, another thing I wanted to ask you, lots of buzz around this team, obviously for many, many different reasons, Aaron Rodgers probably being the biggest one of those. But the Jets, after more than a decade, have made their return to HBO's Hard Knocks. What are your thoughts? How have you been enjoying the episodes? And has it been like you expected it to be? Has it Has it been better, worse? Give me your thoughts on Hard Knocks.
I loved it. It's been fantastic. I was one of the people that wanted Hard Knocks the entire time. I never understood it's the big distraction. All of you people who thought it was this big distraction, I hope you're not watching it. You deserve to not watch a second of it. I hope you don't get a chance to enjoy any clip from it. Nothing. The Robert Saleh, Tony Soprano entrance, that you're not allowed to watch it. If you enjoyed that, you're not allowed to even be a Jet fan anymore. That's how far I'm willing to die on that hill. But no, I mean, on a serious note, it's been great, man. I really have enjoyed it. I don't think anything will top the 2010 Jets because that's one of my favorite teams of all time out of any team I root for. But that was such a great season, and they really just gave you unprecedented access if you go back and watch those episodes. Like Tannenbaum and Rex having just honest conversations about the roster, talking about guys they're going to cut, Mike Westhoff. So that season was like all time, the snack speech everyone knows. But this has been pretty good. It's different. They're not giving you as much as they did back in 2010, but there's been some really fun moments. The Rodgers stuff has been great. So I've really enjoyed it. And, you know, it's been a different version, different style of the show for those who watch Hard Knocks every year like I have since 2010. But it's been great. I really have enjoyed it. And I'm excited to see the season finale tomorrow. They certainly got a ton to cover, which is going to be great.
Likewise, man. Couldn't agree more. I think HBO has done a fantastic job. And I also think, like you said, you know, the show back in 2010 was a very different show. It felt like Rex Ryan wanted all the access. You know, they wanted everything out there. They wanted, they wanted to kind of build the brand, if you will. Whereas this year, it feels like the Jets, you know, obviously One Jets Drive has been a major success for the Jets, and they have their own thing going. But obviously HBO is this, you know, international mega conglomerate that everybody knows and everybody loves. Everybody watches Game of Thrones and The Sopranos and Westworld and so on. So it's a big thing, and it's big for the league. And obviously it's big for the organization. But I also think it's kind of cool how you can see, unfortunately, I mean, maybe not unfortunately, but because I've been loving it as well. I agree with everything you have to say. The Jets, we know, made it clear that they didn't want any part of it. So it is kind of cool to see the power that they do have, although they couldn't deny being on the show. It is kind of cool to see, all right, well, you guys are not going to film us cutting our players. You're not going to film this. You're not going to film that. It is cool to see the delegations that they are able to make in terms of what HBO puts out there and what they don't put out there. And the fact that they also decided to start releasing One Jets Drive the night before is just funny as well. I think they're doing good stuff over there. But yeah, I agree with you, man. I think Hard Knocks has been great. I think there's been a lot of great moments. Very different than the 2010 Jets, obviously. One of my favorite moments from that, just going back, is the goal line drill in the rain with Chris Jenkins going off and ripping his helmet off. And, yeah, I mean, you know, I don't think we're ever going to get anything quite like that again. But I've had a wonderful time watching Hard Knocks. I think HBO has done a really good job, and I think the Jets have done a good job at kind of managing what's put out there and what isn't, because I don't think it's become a distraction. I think, if anything, people are rooting for the Jets. People are like, damn, Rodgers is a cool guy. Damn, Robert Saleh is a cool guy. You know, they got Liev Schreiber to show up to practice in a freaking helicopter. So, yeah, man, I couldn't agree with you more. I think they're doing great things. I was kind of on the fence about it, but as soon as I saw the first episode, I'm like, sold. This is great. Can't wait to watch it tomorrow and see how they wrap things up.
Yeah, man, Hard Knocks has been just spectacular. I rewatched the first episode last night, and I just, wow. The production quality is just next level. Jake, I want to leave you off with this last question. You ready for this, Jake? Give us some bold predictions on what we are going to see from these New York Jets this season, whether it's to win the AFC East, whether it's to go to the AFC Championship. Maybe it's go to the Super Bowl, or maybe Jake has something crazier to say of win the Super Bowl. Who knows? Jake, where does the season end? Is it a wild card berth and a loss there? Is it missing the playoffs, God forbid? Is it a division loss? Is it a chance? I mean, I know this is a tough decision. It's a tough prediction here, but give us your overall thoughts, man. What's your prediction?
12-5, AFC East champions. Super Bowl win against the Philadelphia Eagles.
Let's go. Jake has the New York Jets going. That deserves.
Why not?
This and another one. Jake, thank you so much for joining the first ever Jets Media podcast, man, of the first episode. You were the first guest. Sorry for the technical difficulties. We're going to get those situated, so the next time you come, you will not be hearing yourself in your heads while you talk. So, Jake, thank you so much. We really do appreciate you joining the show, man. And anything you'd like to say before you head out of here?
Guys, congrats on the studio. Awesome job, Richie Jack. Always appreciate you guys, and looking forward to meeting you guys at a game. And next time I'm on the island, maybe we'll do it in person. That'll be fun.
Likewise, man. It's been a pleasure. Always great getting your insight, and keep killing it down there, man. All the best for you and your career.
You got it. Talk to you guys soon. Thanks again.
Later, Jake. We'll see you Monday.
Can't wait. Let's go.
Can't wait.
All right.
That is Jake Assman, everybody, the first special guest on the Jets Media podcast. God, that was fun.
That was awesome.
That was a good time, man.
Shout
and
out
just
to
like
Jake.
that, the second hour is in the books.
Let's freaking go.
We're cranking along here, folks.
So, guys, we have hit the third hour. And just a little update of what to expect in this third hour. We're going to open this up to Jets call-ins. So, guys.
Oh, man.
We are going to open this up for call-ins. So now you guys can come on the show and ask Jack and I some questions about the New York Jets. God, do I have to remind you that Jets football is back? Hello, wake up.
Man.
Jets football is 1 week from today is game day. If you're not excited, wake up, Jets fans. This is the time. Can't Wait by Bart Scott. Are you kidding me? JETS. What are we doing here? Wake up. Let's go. We deserve a party right now.
It's officially the afternoon, everybody.
We have hit the 12-hour mark.
It's officially the afternoon, which means it's time to dance.
Come on now. What? The JETS Jets. We come into week one, MetLife Stadium. Josh Allen, what's good? Hey to Quinnen Williams. That's a strip sack, and the ball's on the floor. Jermaine Johnson picks it up, and he showboats to the end zone. Jets up 7-0 in the first 3 minutes of the game. Oh my gosh, what? Now Josh Allen got to get back on the field, and he throws a pick right to Sauce Gardner. Now it's time for Aaron Rodgers to make his freaking debut. And the first play is a lob to Garrett Wilson for a Jets touchdown, 14-0. That's what's gonna happen. Now I saw the future. I saw the damn future, and it's damn bright. Okay.
Love it.
Had to give you guys a little freestyle because that's what's happening week one.
Oh, I love
Right
that.
there.
I needed that. That was beautiful. 2 hours in, we need that little energy boost. I need to move my body a little bit. That's beautiful, man. That's
All right, guys.
beautiful.
So basically, this is what's going to happen. We are going to take some call-ins, but we are going to take a quick break. But on our break, we have a really fun video to show you guys. So don't you guys click away from the show. We have an awesome video that Jack and myself created on Touchdown Kingdom. If you're not familiar with Touchdown Kingdom, that is another YouTube channel that I have all about the NFL, but we happen to made a video about the New York Jets, and it's a nice video, and basically the title and the topic of it is, are the New York Jets worth the hype, right? So we're going to play this video, and it's an 8-minute video all about the New York Jets. So this is not something that you're going to be like, oh, what is this BS? No, this is a video that goes into detail that Jack narrates all about the New York Jets. So we will be right back, guys, after this video from Touchdown Kingdom. So enjoy, and we'll be right back.
The New York Jets are one of the most hyped up teams in the NFL heading into the 2023 season. But the question is, are they worthy of it all? How did a team that's missed out on the playoffs for 13 straight years land a Hall of Fame quarterback and propel themselves into the Super Bowl hunt? Well, we're going to lay it all out for you in today's video, but first, if you're new here on Touchdown Kingdom, please consider subscribing, as we have tons of awesome NFL content coming your way all season long. And if you do enjoy this video, please make sure to smash that like button, but more importantly, let us know if you think the New York Jets are worth the hype in the comments below. With that being said, let's get right into it. The football world was stunned back in March when, on the Pat McAfee show, Aaron Rodgers announced that his intentions were to play for the New York Jets. Wow. After 18 seasons with the Packers, a change of scenery was clearly needed for the future Hall of Famer. But what was it about the Jets that made them the most attractive destination for a player of his caliber? Let's break it down. We'll start with some of the external factors outside of actually playing football. Now, playing in a massive sports market like New York City might be daunting for some, but it's a great landing spot for Aaron Rodgers at this point in his career. He seems super determined to silence his doubters and prove that at 39 years old, he's still one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL. And make no mistake, he definitely wants another Super Bowl before he hangs it up for good. What better place to kill two birds with one stone than with a franchise like the Jets, who fans have been starving for a championship for over half a century? With the addition of the team being selected to appear on this season of HBO's Hard Knocks, both Rodgers and the Jets are truly under the microscope. If he takes a franchise like the New York Jets to the promised land and adds that to his already epic resume, Rodgers will truly cement himself as one of the best quarterbacks that the game has ever seen. Another reason that the Jets were such an attractive destination for Aaron Rodgers are some of the familiar faces within the organization. Earlier this offseason, the Jets hired Nathaniel Hackett to be their new offensive coordinator. While Hackett is coming off of an undeniably tough year as the head coach for the Denver Broncos, he was the offensive coordinator in Green Bay during Aaron Rodgers' back-to-back MVP seasons 2 years ago, and the two do maintain a great relationship to this day. No one can forget the monster seasons that Rodgers had in 2021 and 2020 when he threw for a combined 8,414 yards, 85 touchdowns, and only 9 interceptions. Now our friends over at BetUS have Rodgers' total touchdowns for the 2023 season at over under 28.5. Now that Aaron Rodgers is reunited with his buddy Nathaniel Hackett, throwing for 29 touchdowns sounds super reasonable considering the last 2 times the two were together, he threw for 48 and 37. Aaron Rodgers is also reuniting with former teammates Alan Lazard and Randall Cobb, but it's not just the familiar faces that brought Rodgers to New York. He's also on record saying how impressed he was with head coach Robert Saleh as both a coach and a leader, going all the way back to the Jets-Packers joint practices that were held during 2021. In Aaron Rodgers' intro presser with the Jets, he also mentioned how he gained respect for both Saleh and the organization as a whole when the Jets dominated the Packers 27-10 during Week 6 of last year. Now, the narrative behind the Jets last season was that they were a quarterback away from being a serious contender. Well, they didn't just land your average quarterback. They went out and got a future Hall of Famer, and now that they've got their guy under center, they're in a serious position to turn some heads this year. Outside of the quarterback position, New York's roster is the best it's been in a very long time. Rodgers has a legitimate wide receiver 1 in Garrett Wilson, who put the Jets and the rest of the NFL on notice last season when he had over 1,100 receiving yards, 83 receptions, and 4 touchdowns to top it off. He put together a fantastic season, all while dealing with inconsistent and bad quarterback play. In turn, he was named the 2022 Offensive Rookie of the Year. Now with Aaron Rodgers locked in and ready to go, Garrett Wilson is set to have a monster second season. Rodgers is also set with potentially the best running back duo in the league. Breece Hall was making his own claim for Offensive Rookie of the Year before getting hurt midway through the season. And let's not forget about Dalvin Cook, who the Jets signed in August to play a huge role in this offense. The Jets are certainly loaded up at the skilled positions. While the offensive line is definitely the Jets' biggest question mark on offense, things have slowly been coming together throughout training camp, and the starting 5 is all healthy and ready to go. Both Mekhi Becton and Elijah Vera-Tucker are returning from injury and are ready to hold down the right side of the line, while veterans Dwayne Brown and Laken Tomlinson do the same on the left. Now, the X factor to this Jets offensive line will definitely be their health. All of the pieces are in place, but they just need to remain available. Bottom line, if they stay healthy, they should be good to go. Now, we've spent a lot of time talking about the Jets offense, as we probably should. They were a huge storyline all offseason long with the acquisition of Aaron Rodgers at quarterback, but now it's time to talk about this Jets defense, who was a top 5 unit in all of football last year. Led by their veteran middle linebacker C.J. Mosley, who was a second-team All-Pro last season and is a consistent top 10 tackler, this Jets defense is poised to be even better than they were last year. Mosley leads a dynamic linebacking core, while the dominant defensive line is led by Quinn Williams, who has gotten better every year and was a top 5 player at his position last season. Now, while Quinnen is certainly the face and the heart and soul of this Jets defensive front, it does not end with him. The Jets D-line is one of the deepest in the league. They're also an extremely versatile unit, and there isn't a situation where they don't have 4 guys that can beat you. Guys like Al Woods, Carl Lawson, and John Franklin Myers add a strong veteran presence. Now add in plenty of young dynamic players like Jermaine Johnson, who's poised for a monster second season, Bryce Huff, and rookie Will McDonald, and you're gonna be keeping opposing quarterbacks up at night. Now the final piece to this Jets defense, of course, are the D-backs. Led by second-year cornerback Sauce Gardner, New York's secondary is a dangerous unit. Sauce was a top corner in football last year. He led the league in pass deflections and didn't allow a single touchdown all season long. Sauce was also the highest-ranked cornerback on this year's Top 100 Players list, voted on by the players themselves. He was named Defensive Rookie of the Year following a fantastic rookie campaign, and it was well-deserved. He's definitely ready to get after it in year 2. Right next to Sauce is DJ Reed, who also had a fantastic season last year. Him and Sauce make a formidable duo at cornerback. Second-year safety Tony Adams has made strides this offseason and has now earned a starting role next to returning safety Jordan Whitehead. Adrian Amos, another former Green Bay Packer, adds depth to the Jets' safety room, while cornerback Michael Carter II has cemented his role as the Jets' slot corner. With a stacked roster on both sides of the ball and one of the greatest quarterbacks to ever do it under center, the Jets are certainly in a position to make a run this year. Rodgers has proved that he's all in and took a $35 million pay cut to free up some money so some additional roster moves could be made. There's no reason to believe that the Jets won't make a push this year. According to our friends at BetUS, they're the 7th most likely team to win it all with plus 1,600 odds. They're also second in the race to win the AFC East at plus 250 and are favored to make the playoffs with the odds sitting at minus 140 for them to get in. Analysts, lines makers, and other NFL players and coaches all think the Jets are for real this year. So what do you think? Are the 2023 New York Jets worth the hype? Make sure to let us know down in the comments below, and as always, please like the video and subscribe so you can stay up to date with all of the latest and greatest NFL content. Hope you all enjoyed the video, and we'll see you next time here on Touchdown Kingdom.
Yo, we are back, baby.
We heard some rumors going around the chat that there might have been some echoing going on. We do apologize for that. As you guys know, this is our first time really using all this new gear for the full show. So thank you guys so much for bearing with us. We think we fixed the issue, so hopefully that won't be an issue in the future. Appreciate every single one of you guys for sticking around. It was definitely time for a bathroom break for Richie and I after 2 hours straight of being here talking with you guys. So thank you so much for the patience that you guys are showing, and thank you so much for the support, man. And I also hope you guys enjoyed that video that Richie and I worked very hard on, as well as the rest of the guys at the Touchdown Kingdom team. Shout out to our editor Nick that did a fantastic job editing that video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Make sure to go check out the other channel, Touchdown Kingdom, where you'll find all things NFL, some Jets stuff specifically as well. And yeah, thank you guys for the support, man. I hope you enjoyed the video, and thank you once again for bearing with us through these technical difficulties that hopefully will not be an issue in the future. So thank you guys so much. And yeah, we are back for the last 45 minutes or so of the first episode of the Jets Media Podcast, baby.
Let's go. You know, technical difficulties are inevitable, I feel like, with these things. And I know you guys can bear with us. And now the next question is, are we going to have technical difficulties with these call-ins? So we'll find out the hard way.
We'll find out, guys.
Click in the link pinned in the chat to join the call-in segment. We are now opening up. And guys, just a reminder, this is a new show here on Jets Media. It's going to be the official Jets Media podcast that will be available in audio format later today on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and all wherever you listen to your podcast. It'll be available. Jack and I will be live every single Monday from this time frame. Next Monday will be a little different because it is game day and we do have to get to the stadium, so we're going to go live earlier, probably around like 8 a.m. or so. And then the next week we have a special in-person guest that's going to be with us for the entire 3-hour show. And then we're also going to have special guests. We're going to have multiple guests on throughout the entire show. And the last part of the show in the third hour is always going to be the call-in segment. So If you guys want to join the show and ask Jack and I some questions, click that link that's pinned in the chat. And also, if you did not already, guys, we hit over 200 likes, but I want to finish this show with over 300, or we'll start with 250 maybe. So if you guys are enjoying the show, guys, do us a favor, hit that thumbs up button. We appreciate all the love and the support in the live chat, guys. We do see all the love. We see all the support. Thank you, guys. Shout out to Paula, Rich, Boomtown, Dom, Mo, of course. Thanks as always. And man, Eminon, Dane, Rich, we appreciate all you guys, man. Thank you so much for all your constant support. Now, let's see how... Oh, baby, we got the first caller of the show coming on right now, baby. He's live. Jamie, can you hear us?
Buddy. Hi, yeah, I can hear you good. Can you hear me?
Yes, can you hear us?
Yes, 100%.
Now, why don't you introduce yourself of who you are, because I don't think people know exactly, because there's no name next to you on screen. So let us know who you are.
I'm your friendly neighborhood Chiefs fan, King Jamie the Mad.
Yeah, King Jamie the Mad's in the house. Let's go, King Jamie.
King Jamie,
Mad
what's
doesn't
going
mean
on, brother?
angry. Hey, Jack, you look good, bro. I like that hat.
Thank you, brother. You always look good, Jamie. So I appreciate that
Thanks,
coming
man.
from you.
I tried to take a shower and everything. Nice. Richie, it's going to be a good year. I don't care what any of the haters are saying, bro. I really got a feeling it's going to be Chiefs and Jets at the end, bro. Well, I'm hoping.
Man, you've been saying this for a while now, and if it's the Jets hosting the Chiefs in the AFC East AFC Championship game, I don't know what I'm going to do with my life by then.
Yeah, well, we're going to have to get together. I'll come to New York. I'm going to be in New York like 3 times in the next 3 months, bro.
I love that. You're going to be with us for Jets Media Day, Week 3 against the Patriots.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Oh, man.
That's exciting.
Can't wait to finally meet you, man.
Yeah, it's going to be fun, Jack. I can't wait to meet you too, man.
It's going to be a lot of fun, dude.
Jamie, thank you so much. I just want to give you some love real quick because you have been such a consistent supporter of this channel for years, and like way before the Jets have all this hype, by the way. I mean, when I first made this YouTube channel, I had King Jamie in my corner because he is a Chiefs fan, and no, he is not a bandwagon Chiefs fan. This man has been a Chiefs fan from the start of Chiefs Kingdom. And
this man knows the struggle.
Do we have to remind them that the Chiefs were not this dynasty forever? I mean, you've been through some terrible seasons with the Chiefs, no?
Dude. Like the real football fans, they know that the Chiefs were pretty mediocre for about 40 years in a row. You know, we never got the good times like the Patriots got. We didn't get what the Steelers got or what the Cowboys got. You know, I mean, and finally it happened. We've been praying for it. And I still kind of don't believe it.
Jamie, tell Jets fans out there. I mean, it's probably even hard to describe, but what does it feel like to be a diehard for so long and then watch it finally all come to fruition in the best way possible? As a passionate sports fan, what is that like?
How about you're gonna find out soon?
Oh man!
I really think that you guys are gonna find out soon, and people are gonna shut up finally about it. And yeah, I think it's like having a lost puppy that you loved so much, and you just looked for him for months and months and months. I mean, it basically feels like a lifetime, and then all of a sudden he just is in the yard. He's just right in the yard, and he's fetching a ball, and oh my God, it's crazy, dude. It's like finding gold. Yeah,
and it's you know,
this crazy feeling that I can't even put words to it, man. You just feel good. You're like almost disappointed because of all the guys that you've had on the team before that were so good, and you thought that they deserved a ring, but they never got one. But then you get to see these guys get them, and so it makes up for a lot of crying on Sundays.
There we go. And this is, you know, it's no flash in the pan either. I mean, you got yourself Patrick Mahomes, who has cemented himself as not only the face of the NFL, but you know,
prayers, Jack.
in his mid-20s, he's already cemented himself as a future Hall of Famer. You know, so I mean, what's that got to feel like?
I mean, you have a Hall of Famer there right now. That's
Oh,
Aaron
absolutely,
Rodgers.
absolutely.
Oh,
But
yeah, we do.
But you have one for
I
a
can't
decade.
believe you guys got Aaron Rodgers. I wished, like most of Aaron's career, I wished he was a Chief, and you guys got him. And like you said earlier, Jack, you were one quarterback away from having it all, and I really think you guys might end up having it all, man.
Woo, Jamie.
Jamie, thank you so much for calling in, man. All the support you show on this channel, cannot thank you enough. And I'll see you September 24th when the Jets demolish the New England Patriots, let's hope. So, Jamie, cannot thank you enough for the call and all the support you bring to the channel. And good luck to your Chiefs on Thursday.
Thanks, bro. Cool. Much love, respect, guys.
Likewise,
Peace
Jamie.
out, man.
Thank you for
Appreciate
everything,
it.
brother.
Awesome stuff from our guy.
Jamie is the man, guys, and he's been there, man. He's been at the bottom of the barrel. He's watched his Chiefs be mediocre for decades and then watched them become the powerhouse of the league with, the best quarterback that's been, in this league in a while, it seems like, in Patrick Mahomes. Certainly the face of the league. So, Jamie is a well-deserving, passionate Chiefs fan who's deserving of all the good things coming his way, as are we, guys. Jamie said it himself. We have a future Hall of Famer. We can go win it all. And we'll see week 4
we will.
when we play the Kansas City Chiefs, which could be a preview to a playoff matchup.
Let's go. All right, we got a new caller coming on the show right now. Coming in right now. Let's get him in. Johnny's in the channel right now. What up, Johnny? Can you hear me?
Yeah, what's going on, man?
What's
How you
up,
doing,
dude?
brother?
Hey, man, the sign in the back, bro. It's fire, dude.
Hey, I appreciate that. Let's show it off now. You said that.
The New York Jets are one of the most...
That's the wrong button. Now, thank you so much, Johnny. We do appreciate that. That Jets media sign is going to be hung on the wall eventually, but right now it's just, you can't see it in the frame.
It's all good. Now you can see it, man. You can see it right there. It's pretty dope. Hey,
Hello.
but question to you guys. First and foremost, Richie, your content's always good too, man. So we appreciate all the stuff you put out there, especially during camp and everything. You were out there, literally out there in these streets, these jet streets.
Thank you, man.
Going ahead and putting out that stuff for us and everything as well. So I had a question for both of you guys, right? With everything going on and the way, I'm on the same boat as Jake, 12-5. We win the division. We got a home playoff game. But with that being said, right, I really don't feel like we have any kind of weaknesses or anything like that at all in our whole Jets team, right? But what is the, room that you guys feel like is the most underrated room currently? For me, I keep talking about it, and it's the tight ends. I feel like they're going to blow up this year, and they're just going to keep scoring in the goal zone.
First of all, I love your referring to it as the gold zone. As all Jets fans now know, it is no longer the red zone. It is the gold zone, because that's where we win games, and that's where we will win the championship this year, is in the gold zone. So thank you for that, man. But, I think in terms of an underrated unit, I would agree with you. I would put the tight ends in there, but I got a little bit of a different take. I'll go with the offensive line, because there's been a lot of talk about, before everybody got healthy, it was a super big concern throughout, the vast majority of the month of August and July. What is this, starting five going to look like? Are they going to be able to protect Rodgers, keep him on his feet, all that good stuff? I think now that, the starting five guys are healthy and ready to go, I think this offensive line is going to turn some heads, and people are going to realize that not only is this offensive line going to, be able to protect Aaron Rodgers and be a competent offensive line, I think they have the potential to be, a very good unit. I think they have the potential, if all healthy and all playing next to each other and all gelling, I think they have the potential to be one of the better offensive lines in the league. I really do. We got, veterans like Laken Tomlinson and Dwayne Brown and McGovern. And then, we got these young studs like AVT and Becton. And if those two stay healthy on the right side of the line, with, giving the ball to a back like Breece Hall, who can take it to the house at any moment in time, I think this offensive line could be, maybe the dark horse, kind of the unsung hero of this team. I really do. All these guys need to do is stay healthy, and we're good to go. I mean, while I still, welcome the idea of, seeing what David Bakhtiari would go for or whatever, I think that all we need is for these 5 guys to stay healthy and available, and I think we're good to go. So I'm going to go with the offensive line. I think they can be the dark horse of this offense.
Agree.
Same thing. Yeah, and then the other thing, I guess, the whole thing, especially Johnson went ahead and put out, what's the celebration signature move going to be called now, the hammer down stuff. But we've been kicking at this whole thing about the defensive line. What is the defensive line going to be? I keep going for the rush hour, 60 hours of straight mayhem, right? Or the bada bing. Just the
bada bing.
With the Sopranos and all that as well. So, you know what I mean? But
yeah, I think that we need a freaking name for these defensive line.
I like I think that's pretty fitting. I love the Sopranos reference there. In terms of the Jermaine Johnson celebration, I've seen some great things. I saw one this morning that I really liked was the Hammer of Dawn. I like that a lot. I think it could be coined the Hammer of Dawn. Anything to do with Thor, and thunder and all that, Viking mythology stuff that has to do with Thor's hammer, I think is appropriate.
I got a nickname for this defensive line. I think we can call them the Psycho Exchange. I think that there are a bunch of psychos on this defensive line. Zach Wilson referred to them as psychos, and I thought that really clicked for me personally. After their first game in the preseason, and we saw how good they are, Zach's like, they're just a bunch of psychos, and I think that's hilarious because they are psychopaths in the best way possible. So Psycho Exchange is my name for the defensive line. So, Johnny, that was a great call in, my man. Thank you so much for those 2 questions, and appreciate all the support that you bring to the channel, my man.
Yeah, I appreciate it, man. Go Jets. And like I always say, hey, Richie, I had no idea you spit some hot fire, bro.
Just manifesting what's going to happen next week.
I hear that. Hey, go.
Appreciate you, Johnny.
Thanks for the call, man. Appreciate that.
Great caller, man.
Awesome stuff, guys. Awesome stuff. Let's keep this energy going, man.
We got a lot of people joining right now. So, guys, we're going to bring everybody in the order you guys joined. So just be patient. We're going to try to get through it, get through everybody. We got Joshua next, then Ricky, then Jets Unleashed, then LaSalle, then King Lowski. Yes, Manny B. So all those people are going to be featured. So just be patient, and we're trying to get through as many as possible.
Here he is.
Yo.
What's up, fellas? What is up? It's been a hot minute, and football's right in the corner.
Yes, sir. Right around the damn corner,
yes,
man.
Indeed.
Why don't you introduce yourself and say what's good to the chat, and what do you got cooking for us, my man? Thanks for joining.
Oh man, just about to go work and such, just to kill my day off, and just for the most, I've been a Jets fan for almost 17 years and counting, and grew up with Chaddy Payton, Chris Martin. At the time, I became a first fan for them. Just remarks of how New York style is in football team. They resemble us in New York. And that's what my dad hates me, writing the book, aka Dolphins fan. I've been grew up watching all these seasons, man, how big we win games, how low we lose games. But hey, at the end of the day, this year could change the difference what the best Jets defense and offense have built for so long with Aaron Rodgers and special defensive linemen I see, especially with defensive backs, Sauce Gardner and DJ Reed making remarks of, Dora Revis and Antonio Kamari, stylish. And then, we've been wanting to see this for so long. And with a productive organization with Joe Douglas and Robert Saleh, prep up the team. I like their work than the other coaches for the past years. And of course, Rex Ryan, he's the one that stepped up with the Mark Sanchez era and rest of the way from the 2009, 2010 seasons that they were close enough to go to Super Bowl.
Yes.
But go ahead.
No, I was just about to say, this is the time. We've been through all the hell, and I think that this is the perfect opportunity for our fan base to galvanize around this squad and really have a realistic, optimistic approach to this team.
Oh yeah, and just I look very possible. How you say it, stuttered. But I looked at possibilities of the players around the community. They really want to play this game for the Jets, take it all the way through Super Bowl, which is kind of like corny or cocky, but this is why I want to believe the Jets so far, to make the play, to make it right, to make a good choice, and just kick ass. And
so I want to leave you with this question right here, my man. Give me a record prediction and your bold take on where the Jets get eliminated. If so, where are they going? How far in the playoffs? And how many wins we getting?
It's funny to say that. I got them in my predictions of 11-7. Make it through, possibility AFC Championship, and lose to the Chiefs.
Listen, I'll take it. I'll definitely get back to the AFC Championship, and then next year we'll win the damn Super Bowl. So thank you so much for the call, and my man, I do appreciate the love you bring. Great to see you again, and I hope to see you weekly.
And sure enough, just before I go, I'm also going to go see the Cowboys game and Jets, which I'm close by to staying. It's going to be good, hectic fun, But yeah, all good changes are about to come for the Jets. It's good to hear y'all guys.
Amen,
Thank
brother.
you, Richie. Thank you, Jack.
Thank you,
bro.
brother.
Appreciate it.
We'll see you soon, man.
See you.
Peace. All right.
And there's
Another
Josh.
great caller.
There's the man, Josh, man. You guys are bringing the energy today. We appreciate it. Hope you guys are enjoying this third and final hour of the Jets Media Podcast as we bring all you guys on to take your calls and your questions and talk some Jets.
Let's go. All right, we got the next caller coming on. We got Ricky. How's it going? You hear us?
Yeah, how's it going, Richie?
How's it going, man?
What's going on?
I'm a little bit rough today. We drove over to the Orlando for the game last night, and so I'm kind of in rough shape today. But I'm hanging in here, and you know what? As far as our most underrated group, I think it's our running back group. I know, everybody was talking when we brought Dalvin in. I don't think people really realize what we're going to be capable of doing this year. And I'm looking so forward to it. It's just going to be a great year this year. I'm sorry. Like I said, I'm in rough shape this morning. I didn't get back from that game last night until the sun came up.
Hey, no problem at all, man. We appreciate the call regardless of whatever shape you're in. We're just happy to have you here with us. But, yeah, that's a good take, man. I mean, I think, this running back room, let me just ask you this and the chat this as well. What team out there has a better running back three than Michael Carter? Come on. We have Dalvin Cook, Breece Hall, and Michael Carter is running back three?
And Izzy.
Like, come on, man. What team has a more well-rounded running back room than ours? There are some teams you can mention. The Packers have a great duo with A.J. Dillon and Aaron Jones. The Patriots now with Ramondre Stevenson and Zeke Elliott. But, Dalvin Cook, Breece Hall, Michael Carter as number three? Come on, man. Those are three dangerous dudes that can do damage at any point in time.
Yeah, I don't think it's even close. And I'm just going to leave you guys with my prediction real quick. Those first 6 games, 5-1. Sorry, Jamie. As far as the season, 13-4. And we are going to defeat Joe Burrow in the AFC Championship game, and we're taking it the distance.
Let's go, baby.
Great calling, man. Great calling, Ricky. That was awesome. And please sign me up for that exact prediction. Please. So, Ricky, thank you so much for joining. Hope to see you next week. Take care. Another great call in there. That's awesome, man. That was a great call. So even when you're not in your best shape, still come on to the show. We appreciate that from Ricky. Had a long night. Still finds time to join the first ever Jets Media Podcast.
Love it and appreciate it. Thank you, guys.
Love it, man.
Love, love, love it.
All right.
Getting ready for a legend.
Up next, we got Jets Unleashed. Look at
What
this
up,
guy.
what up?
Bringing the energy.
In the CJ
How you guys
jersey.
doing?
We're doing great, dude. How you feeling right now? I know you're pumped up for the season.
Dude, I'm great, man. It's football this week, man. Week 1 too, man. I get to see the Dolphins lose this week in the Patriots, and we get to see us be number 1, beat the Bills, and take over this division, man. It's great to be a Jets fan right now.
Amen to that, Jets Unleashed. How you feeling about this week 1 matchup against the Bills, man?
I feel really good, man. I feel like Dan and them don't know how good we really are. They estimate us. They try to say last year that we somehow they didn't have a lot of players, even though we didn't have our AVT. We didn't have Bryce Hall last year against them, and we're still able to make this a competitive and one-scored game, and even beat them at one point. So for them, I'm excited. I'm excited to see what Rodgers can come out here and just win it here, man. I don't feel Josh Allen. This defensive line's going to eat, and this defense is going to eat. And we actually have an offense, so they don't have to be out there 24/7. So they can actually not have to be fatigued out there all the time. But I'm excited, man. It's going to be a great game, and we're going to win it.
We are going to win it, and I actually don't fear Josh Allen, and maybe he'll prove me wrong. But based off what I saw last year, this defense is ready to go.
The Bills have a questionable offensive line. They've done minimal things to improve their roster this offseason, whereas the Jets have taken every possible avenue.
What do you mean, bro?
to
They got
improve.
Damian Harris.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. we got Dalvin Cook after getting Aaron Rodgers and a bunch of other studs as well. So
And they don't have a running game too.
yeah, the Bills are relying on,
Their running back is Josh Allen.
Yeah, the Bills are relying on second-year guy James Cook, who has a good family name, but, didn't really do much of anything in his rookie season, and now they're expecting him to be their go-to guy. I think the Bills are pretty one-dimensional, obviously. I think there's a roadmap out there on how to beat the Bills that a lot of teams have now.
And I think this game is going to come down to which team can win the ball, and the Jets can win the ball. So I think we got this in the bag. It's going to be a close game. Don't get me wrong. We're not going to destroy them. I wish we could destroy them, but it's going to be a close game. But I think at the end of the day, we will come out on top and become 1-0 and become the top AFC East.
Let's freaking go, man. Jets Unleashed, always a pleasure to have you on, man. Hopefully to see you on the roundtable this week as well. Thank you for the call-in, and we'll see you next week on Game Day.
See you next week, game day.
Let's go, baby.
Jet up.
Let's
go.
Jets. Oh, man, what a great call from Jets Unleashed. Jets. Everybody's bringing the energy. I love it. You guys are all fantastic. We got the next one coming in right now. We'll see in a second here if the stream is going to
We got Manny.
work.
Manny, can you hear us?
Manny, you in here, buddy?
Hell yeah, I hear y'all.
Oh, we got a Dolphins fan. What's up, Manny?
Yo, what's up, man? Let me just say this, man. If this game was played on paper, you guys are still good enough to finish in third place.
Oh, stop it. Stop it.
You're telling me to stop it, but let's be real. You guys really haven't done anything besides upgrade your roster, which is nice. But it's not going to be enough, man. Look at what happened last year with Rodgers. You guys are excited for a second, third place. I really can't see you guys even making the playoffs this year. I mean, if let's say y'all start off, you guys are all saying 6-1, 8-1, like you guys aren't going to lose. Man, once things start to hit the fan, let's be real. Rodgers is going to quit on you guys. When it's not going the way he expects it to go, he will quit on you guys, and you guys are going to be left watching Zach Wilson as your quarterback again. God forbid you have to go out with Joe Flacco.
And you're going to be left with Mike White. How about that? Tua's going to be on the stretcher by week 5, and then Mike White's going to be out there. And then not good enough to do what? To beat the Dolphins? We split with the Dolphins last year. I'm not scared of Tua. I'm not scared of Tua or Tyreek Hill after Quinnen Williams put his little butt into the ground. I'm not scared of the Dolphins, man. You guys missed out on Dalvin Cook. Very upsetting for you. I obviously understand that. But, No.
He
Listen.
used us as leverage.
No,
You guys
no.
have to pay him all that money.
No.
One-year deal, all that money?
1 year deal, $8 million
It's
for
fine.
1 year.
It's fine that your quarterback literally gave back to you guys because he really wants to win. And when you guys don't win, I'm telling you, mark my words, put a timestamp. If y'all don't win, I'm not saying me. Hey, did y'all lose me?
No, you're good.
We got you.
You're
Just
good.
lagged a little bit. Well, now we lost.
Off, right? But I'm gonna put it back on.
Hey, man, no, in all seriousness, man, we want rivals to come on here, and we want some debate, and, like, we welcome that on the show. So we appreciate you coming on here, giving us your perspective of the Jets from the, division rival perspective, and good luck to your Dolphins, and may the best team win, and we'll see who can come out on top in the AFC East.
Stop acting like you wouldn't be hyped if you guys didn't give Dalvin Cook $8 million for a year. Nonsense. Nonsense. Absolute nonsense. You guys are in the Jonathan Taylor hunt now, and you're banking on that after week 4. Nonsense. You guys would be the most hyped fan base on the planet if you got Dalvin Cook, and I don't want to hear otherwise. That is nonsense.
I know you don't want to hear
nonsense.
that.
We are not afraid of the Dolphins.
Know,
Tua's going to be on the bench by
bottom
week 5.
defense.
And Mike White's going to be your quarterback, as King Lowski so eloquently put it a couple weeks back.
Y'all fell in love with Mike White. Y'all was so hype about Mike White. Y'all loved him.
And now he's your backup,
and
just
now
like he was
Aaron
ours.
Rodgers, and it's going to be bad for you guys.
Nah, it's all right. No, we'll be fine, man.
I like you guys a little bit. You know what I mean? I like the people. I like the fans. I don't like the team, but I like the fans, man. I got a lot of
man. It's all love. Likewise,
fans,
it's all love.
As my friend.
No, in all seriousness, Manny, we appreciate your call in, man. We really do, and hope to see you again as the season progresses, to see what happens Sunday with the Dolphins against the Chargers and what happens Monday with the Jets and the Bills. I hope to see you here again, all right?
All right, fins up, Jets down.
Oh, all right.
JTS, Jets.
Have a good one,
Hold
man.
that L on Dalvin Cook.
That was awesome. See, I want more of that on this show. And we got Jack ready.
I'm ready to go, man. The Dolphins, who haven't won a Super Bowl since 5 years after the Jets last won a Super Bowl, who might go to the playoffs more often than the Jets, sure, but they have the longest active playoff win drought in the NFL since 2000 was the last time they won a freaking playoff game. When the Jets go to the playoffs, yes, we might have the longest active drought. I'm not getting there. But when the Jets go to the playoffs, we make runs. We don't get bounced out in the first round by whoever the hell we get scheduled against. So you know what? The Dolphins are just as trash of a franchise historically as the New York Jets are. You wasted Dan Marino's entire 17-year career and got nothing out of it. And the last time you guys won a championship was in the mid-'70s. So I'm tired of hearing it from Dolphins fans that think their team is relevant when they're not. But thanks for the call, man. We appreciate you.
Wow. Jack coming with the fucking fire, baby. Love it. That's what we'd like to see. All right, we got 2 more callers in. We missed out on King Lowski. Where's he at? King Lowski. He's not here anymore. We need King Lowski. Where is he? Come back. Alvarado comes in with the $2 super chat to the Shadow Realm. Oh, wait. Thank you, Alvarado, for the $2 super chat. We appreciate that. All right, the next caller is Nick. Nick, are you there, my man?
Yo, you guys hear me?
Yeah,
what's
good,
Nick?
bro?
We can hear you, brother. How you doing?
Good, guys. What's going on? I don't know about that last caller, bro. Like, he starts off by saying you guys definitely upgraded, but it's not going to be enough. And I'm kind of confused on, and us Jet fans, I feel like we're the least delusional. I mean, the guy calls in saying we upgraded, it's not going to be enough. What have the Dolphins done?
What they upgraded, unfortunately, got hurt for them, and that's Jalen Ramsey. That's the only addition they made.
And I think Dolphins fans are putting way too much stock in a defensive coordinator who's great, no doubt, but a first-time defensive coordinator for the team.
Exactly.
Who, honestly, for being honest, they have the same exact defense, and they're going to have to work, and he's going to have to work his magic. I mean, they're relying on Vic Fangio to work his magic with that defense. Otherwise, the team hasn't changed one bit. You know what I mean? So, I'm not the one to make bold predictions and say we're going to finish, we're going to do this, we're going to do that. But I'm going to give the Dolphins credit. They scare me. But, I don't understand callers like that. But anyways, yeah, guys, I'm going to the AFC Roundtable. I'm the Jets fan from Cali. I've mentioned it a couple of times.
Let's freaking go, bro.
Yeah,
we'll see you next week.
Yeah, me and my girl are flying cross country, we'll be there, man. I'm looking forward to it. Looking forward to meeting you two. Jack should be pretty hype. I don't know if you guys saw little Fireman Ed's hype up. Telling fans to get in their seats by 4:30.
Yeah, I saw that. We
7:30.
definitely are going to have to do that, and I'm going to have to leave our live stream for the roundtable a little early to make sure to get in there.
I was just gonna say we got to make sure we don't miss any of the walkouts and any of that, man.
Yeah, I'm meeting with Oh, that reminds me, I got to text him. I'm meeting with my production guy tomorrow in terms of who's setting up the stream, and I'm going to tell him, we're going to have to change the show, the time, because we have to get into the stadium a little
Yeah, for
early.
sure. Well, hey, one more thing. We got to make sure when King Lowski's on the AFC roundtable, I think Dan Mitchell needs to get called out again, man. I know you've seen this guy on Twitter.
Of course.
Of course,
Oh, my.
man. Dan's notorious.
He said
out there.
Bills by $1 billion, and I don't know what makes him, come up with that kind of statement based on what he saw last year. And he said that Josh Allen played against us the first game with a hurt arm when it was on the second to last play. So,
he came up with nonsense, and I'm the one that's exposing him to all of you guys of Jets fans, and now Jets fans are attacking Dan, and now it's like Dan Mitchell versus Jets Nation. It's hilarious.
And Dan's usually the one guy who has realistic takes, so it kind of caught me by surprise. But I don't really have anything else to say, guys. I'm looking forward to meeting you guys. Like I said, it's my first time to New York. My dad was born in Long Island.
Hey.
So I've been a Jets fan since I was about 5 years old. So,
dude, that's so awesome that you're freaking flying in from California, Nick. Thank you so much.
Man.
We appreciate that. And
fantastic,
see you next week, dude. Let's freaking go.
Yeah,
right,
man.
guys.
Looking forward to that.
Jets, baby.
Safe travels, man. Excited to meet you, buddy.
Guys.
Thanks for the call.
Let's go. Shout out to Nick for joining the show as always.
Awesome.
All right.
Awesome.
Next caller. Let's get it. Lascelles in the house.
Hello, everybody.
Hello.
Lascelles.
I'm doing good.
What's good, bro?
I'm doing good so far.
Nice.
Did good this weekend. All my teams won this week.
Nice.
Fantastic.
Miami Marlins won this week.
Ooh, Miami Marlins. Boo.
Brentford won this week.
Okay.
It's a Premier League team.
And then you know what else is going to happen? The Jets are going to win next week to add to it.
Yeah, the Jets are going to win, I feel like, definitely. And the one thing I definitely want to say, thank you, Jack, for going at that Miami Dolphin fan. I've been saying that for like a couple of months now to TD. They have done nothing with Dan Marino, and they're expecting to do something with Tua Tagovailoa.
Yeah, that's just the facts, man.
Crazy.
I mean, while they're they're not a bad team by any stretch, and they've obviously had more success in terms of getting to the postseason recently than the Jets have. But historically, it's been 50 years since they won a championship, and the same for us. So I don't know. Dolphins fans, while all love to Manny, it's always fun getting a little friendly trash talk in there. But Dolphins fans need to be humbled sometimes. It feels like.
For sure. That's what I've been doing to TD on the AFC East roundtable all these times, because he's been going at the Jets and all that, and I'm like, bro, you got done nothing with Dan Marino, one of the best talented quarterbacks in the 90s, and you're going at us. Come on, man. But it's all love. Like, I'm not hating on TD or Manny, because they're defending their team like I defend my teams.
Of course, man. Yeah.
So I'm not nothing but love between them. It just when they lost to us, like, all I heard was all the excuses, and I just was like, hey, maybe you guys should look yourselves in the mirror. Like, why do we always have these faults? Why do you always have these excuses? What? Hello?
Exactly. They can never just take the L. And they'd have to make these excuses. Oh, I want Dalvin Cook. Oh, he's a Jet. Oh, yeah, well, we use you for leverage. They always have to, like, flip it around to make it fit their narrative. And that's what it's all about. And I'll accept it.
It is.
Yeah, I mean, it is what it is.
It's all it is,
Everybody wants their team to come out looking like the better team. So, I mean, in this case, it's just the Jets. But, you know, it is what it is.
No, for dang sure. Like, I actually like the Dalvin Cook deal because it's only for 1 year, because we don't need Dalvin Cook for more than that. I feel like Breece Hall is going to be a stud in this game for a long time, and with that, we don't need Dalvin Cook for more than 1 year. We don't need Dalvin Cook.
Yeah,
so I'm saying, man,
you could be right, man.
We're going
it could
all
be
in.
The perfect deal. Could be the perfect deal for Dalvin.
It will be
the
perfect
Jets.
deal because he's about to go crazy this year. We're about to have the best running back duo in the NFL. Lissell, it's always a pleasure to have you on. Cannot wait to see you on Wednesday night for the roundtable.
Yeah,
and can't wait to see you attack TD and Dan and whoever else you want to go after, man. We appreciate you.
Dan's gonna take a beat. Dan's gonna take a beating.
Oh, Dan's going to take a beating.
He's going to take a beating.
I love it. He's ready. Lissell is already preparing what he's going to say. So, Lissell, appreciate the call as always, man. See you Wednesday night. Let's go.
See you Wednesday, guys.
Yes, sir. All right.
All right, guys. That was Lissell. We are getting ready for our final call-in of the first episode of the Jets Media Podcast. Please make sure to like the video if you guys haven't already, if you're enjoying it. And you guys are awesome. I can't believe this has already flown by. 3 hours flew by like nothing. But let's get into the last caller, Mr. Bonesy. What's going on, Mr. Bonesy? How you doing, brother?
What's going on, my guys? Richie, you guys are killing it right now, man. First show.
Thank you,
man. Got the
Thank
call-ins going, man. You guys are this is cool, man. This is cool stuff.
Thank you, man.
Appreciate that.
We're very excited about it, so that means a lot.
Hell yeah, I'm ready for Wednesday too. We've been supporting Richie, always asking us to make sure we get more Jets fans on that vote at the beginning. We've been winning some weeks, man.
We have.
We've been winning some of those weeks.
Dolphins fans represent big time for TD, but we're coming. We're second for sure, but we're coming for that first spot.
Facts. Are you guys are going to Monday night?
Yes, sir.
Yo, I can't wait to watch. I'm working, of course, but I can't wait to watch the energy, especially like how bad was it every 3 and out? We were booing. The first 3 and out, normal games, people are booing already, getting vibes, people are arguing, stop booing. It's like now with Rodgers, it's going to be so different vibes. Like you're going to be alive the whole game. So like boos are like, when are boos going to happen? At the refs? Like we got a Hall of Famer. You know what I mean? That it's gonna change everything. I feel like MetLife, people are not Jet Life, excuse me. Jet Life.
Got that right.
I feel like it's gonna be rocking, and we as fans appreciate it so much because we haven't had quarterback play like this. And I'm just so hyped to see Breece and Dalvin, that run game. Oh man, Jets, Jets. First show, let's go in the books.
Let's go, baby.
Let's go, baby.
Let's go, fellas. Great job, man.
First time caller, right?
Hell yeah, hell yeah. I mean, you know, I watch you all the time.
Yeah, I know. I see you in the chat all the time, Mr. Bonesy, all the time. So it's great to put a face to the name in the chat of Mr. Bonesy. And I just want to say thank you for all the support you show me and Jack. It really helps out us more than you know. So let's go Jets, and we're about to go crazy. And we're not going to hear boos. We're going to hear cheers on Monday at MetLife Stadium.
Amen.
So nice.
So refreshing, right?
Hell yeah.
Thank you, man.
All
We'll
right,
see you
fellas.
next week after celebrating a Jets W on Tuesday. How about that?
Let's go, fellas. Jets.
Let's go, Bonesy. Thanks for the call,
Jets.
brother.
Peace out, man.
Oh man, you guys really brought the energy today, man. That was fantastic.
That was sick, man. That was
absolutely awesome. Awesome stuff.
I'm just at a loss for words. I mean, there's so much to be exciting, to be excited about with this Jets team. You heard it from all you guys that just tuned in for the call-in show. Thank you guys. I mean, every single call-in was fire and energy. And I love getting your guys' perspectives. I love getting the Jets fans on here because my goal has always been providing a platform for fans to kind of let their personality express themselves, let their, what type of knowledge they bring in terms of their insight, because everybody has their own perspectives of this Jets football team. And we saw so many across the board here, including a Dolphins fan. So if you did not call in today, I invite you guys to open up and join the call-in show next week on the show. We really do invite anybody, any ways of thinking, whether you're optimistic or negative, we welcome you all. And hopefully there's going to be a lot of positive energy coming through this freaking season, baby. So guys,
it's here, man.
Do I have to remind you that the Jets football season is a week from today is game day? Guys, if you enjoyed the first ever show here on Jets Media, where it's the Jets Media podcast, please hit that thumbs up button. We're at 234 likes. I would love to wrap up the show with at least 250 likes. This was freaking awesome, man.
I've had an incredible morning, man, here on the beautiful Labor Day. Hope you guys are all enjoying your day off. And such an exciting time to be a Jets fan, but to also be part of this amazing platform that my brother Richie has built. All the shout outs in the world to him, but also to you guys for making this all happen. Here we are in this, new studio space with all this fancy equipment that we're using. And it's just, the vibes are as high as they've ever been, man. Not only for us, but for the entire Jets fandom as well. So let's not forget this, guys. Regardless of how this season ends up going, let's not forget the feeling that we've felt for the past couple months and how magical this year really could be, and just the power of sports in general. I don't want to try to get too corny here at the end, but remember this feeling, man. This is a fun and exciting time to be a fan of this team, and football is back, baby. The greatest sport on the planet is back, baby. The first preseason game of the season, the Hall of Fame game, got more viewers than the NBA Finals averaged. Football is back, baby. The king of all sports is back. We are here. Couldn't be more excited. Thank you guys for interacting today. Please make sure to hit that like button. Let's get to 250.
And shout out to all the love in the chat right now. Rich, great format. Thank you. Paula, Richie, I like this format a lot. It feels more inclusive. Well, thank you, Paula. We're really trying to make this feel more inclusive, get you guys more interactive. Like I said, fun segments, call-in shows, special guests. New graphics are still on the way. Actually, I'm working on new things that are still on the way here, which is exciting. Mr. Bonesy, what a great opening show. Thank you for being a part of it, Mr. Bonesy. Johnny, Dane in the chat. I mean, all you guys. Boomtown, well done, gentlemen. Thank you, thank you. Robert says, great show. Go Jets. Phil Adams, congratulations on the new show. Jets Media, more power to you. Thank you, Phil Adams. I appreciate you as always. King Jamie, Rich, reminding everybody every other 3 minutes to hit that like button. If you did not hit the like button, make sure you do so, courtesy of my man Rich, because he's always bringing that freaking fire, man. Always bringing that freaking fire. Now, listen, this is it, guys. Jets football starts.
Officially a week away. I mean, maybe, a week and like 6 hours, because it's 1 o'clock in the afternoon right now. But yeah, guys, it's here. All the waiting is over. Aaron Rodgers is a New York Jet, and we will be watching his debut 1 week from today at beautiful Jet Life Stadium. And I can't believe this is real, man. I'm still pinching myself every day. Even after doing a 3-hour live stream about all of it, it still doesn't feel real. So we still have everything left to prove. We got to leave it all out there on the field. We can't just be the winners of the offseason. We have to be the winners of the season. So it's all still left out there on the table. But man, oh man, is this feeling just an amazing one, man. We have, this is the most hopeful Jets fans I've ever been. That's for sure. So at least in our lifetimes. So thank you guys for all the support today. Wow, what a first show, man. I think it was definitely a success, at least from our perspective. I hope you guys enjoyed the new content, the new format. Get ready for more special guests. Shout out once again to Jake Asman for joining us in the middle of the stream. That was fantastic. Always awesome getting his insight as well. And yeah, man, absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, shout out to Jake for being the first guest. We're eventually going to have multiple guests on in the same show. At certain segments as well. We have some special guests lined up already. Your favorite Jets YouTubers, maybe some other guests that we're going to bring in on here that you guys are going to grow to really appreciate. And yeah, this is the brand new studio. outside of, this podcast that Jack and I are doing every Monday, I'm going to do all my shows from here now, and maybe have some special other guests in studio outside of the podcast. So there's a lot of exciting things happening here on the channel that you guys are really a big part of, because without you guys, again, none of this is freaking possible. And listen to Rich right now in the chat. We are 11 likes away from 250. We're at 239. Please hit that like right now. And shout out to Dane right here. Hit the like, join Richie's Discord, buy a sleep mask.
Let's go. Sign up for BetUS using the link in the description. 125% deposit match. Do it all, guys. Support the channel. We appreciate every single one of you guys. Genuinely from the bottom of our hearts. Every single one of you guys, Jets fan or not, you guys are the GOATs.
100%.
Really are.
Cannot thank you guys enough. This has been the first episode of the JETS, Jets Media Podcast. We are going to be live, a reminder, every single Monday from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. besides next week, because it is game day next week. So we're going to go live a little earlier in the a.m. and then we're going to head right to MetLife Stadium when we wrap it up. And it's going to be a fantastic time. Thank you to my man Jack for the first feature of this podcast. Very, very fortunate. Jack and I have been dreaming of this, doing this in person for years now, and it finally came to fruition because of you guys.
We have been talking about it for a long time.
I can't. I mean, we had a freaking Jets media sign in the background.
Come on,
we have
baby.
Sauce Gardner picking off Josh Allen in a week. We have Garrett Wilson getting in the end zone. What more can you ask for, baby? Can I get a... Let's freaking go, everybody. We're going to wrap it up here. Thank you all for tuning in. I love you all so freaking much. All the love in the channel, all the love in the chat means so much.